Oh, no worries, no worries. All right, and we are live. How's everyone out there on the internet's doing today?
Alive.
Go.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Well, I thought it was going to be the end of the world this morning, but, hey.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a rhetorical question or if you want the cold, hard truth, but we're doing all right.
All right. Well, glad to hear it, as always. I have, for once, since this is my channel and not, Spork's channel, so I get to say, hey, as always, I have co-host Sporkman Studios.
What's up, y'all?
And we have our longtime friend of the Meeting of the Minds crew, Michael Darrick, back again.
Yes, howdy, y'all. It's a variation of what Sporkman said.
Right. And we have a new guest to Meeting of the Minds, Claylex.
Oh, hey, everybody.
So...
What's funny is, it's kind of funny. Mike was one of our first guests to be on the channel, and we now have Claylex on our channel, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yep. And as always, we get to talk about some good soy-free indie comics.
Oh, Sporkman's there. Nice. Oh, he's right there.
All right. I'm just not
I will say my comic technically does have soy in it, but it's just on the alien side of things. But
yes. But you don't have. But I got to go full Bob Jones for this. Yes, we don't have the soy-filled reticuloids that be inside the heroes themselves. Look at Superman. Look at Batman. Look at Wolverine, the biggest alpha male of all, and they made him gay.
Oh man, is that official? I haven't been keeping track.
It's got a three-way going on with Gene and Scott.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And
yep.
and may I say, I find that to be a bit just on the. It goes to show that they are who they're catering to, versus who they should be catering to.
Oh man, when is the DC when do they go woke? I know they're doing that big reboot with all new characters.
I don't know.
Yeah, so they did. That was in Future State, which went live this month. It's going to be all this month, all next month, and like the beginning of March. But yeah, even beyond that, yeah, they already started going because Marco Tamamaki is going to be the head writer of Batman. Yeah, so they go from Tom and James to Marco Tamamaki.
He's too much of a cuck to be able to have that T there. I'm sorry. You can't sit there and do what he did to Batman and everything and retain the T. He's ing now. He lost the K too. I'm just saying.
Well, I can't wait to find out what exotic foods Batman will be eating in Riko Tamaki's Batman run, because she loves to talk about food.
Yep. Yeah, it was always interesting, especially when reading X-23 and wondering what food was going to pop up next, because Honey Badger was inserted into that. So
yeah, well,
but it's good that we got some comics that we can enjoy. That's all that matters.
Yep, and which is exactly what we're about to talk about. Because we got our bitching about mainstream comics out of the way. Yeah. Now let's talk about comics that don't piss us off and don't make us want to, pretty much, if you will, take our eyeballs out, dip them in acid, dip them in other things. Huh?
And then stick them back into our heads.
Yes. Like, oh my god, I still see it. It's horrible.
My eyes.
We got Humble Marty in the chat.
What's up, Humble Marty?
Who do we want to start with first? Do we want to start with Claylex, or do we want to start with Michael?
I'll let Michael go first, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, right on.
So, Mike, we had you on last time with, when we were talking about Abductables last time. And by the way, I did back it. It was a great title to receive. How are you going to up the ante this time?
Oh man, that's definitely our that's definitely our mission statement, to go bigger and better. Definitely want to up the ante as much as possible. Not just in terms of page count. We're going from 52 pages to 60 pages this time around. Plus, we're going full color.
Nice.
Last book was black and white. This time, yep, full color. Colored by Canales, no less. The artist of the original book, Ibai Canales, is going to color the book himself.
It's funny. I meant to get a hold of him and have him come on as well. Totally forgot about it until literally a couple hours ago. I was like, well, Canales is not going to be able to make it. Probably asleep right now.
Yeah, I still can't wrap my head around his time zone. I don't know what time it is over there in Spain, but yeah.
I think aren't they 6 hours ahead of us? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I can look it up right now if you want.
Yeah.
They have multiple time zones, so it's it's 1 a.m. for them. The other one's 2 a.m. So Los Plamos, Madrid.
A little easier to figure out than Australian time, because that one really messes me up.
Or when I was on with Chester Bugsby, him being in Japan, 14 hours ahead.
Oh my god,
that's like time travel at that point.
It's I work. Oh my god, yeah. It's I work with multiple artists. It's my friend Ivan's in Italy, my friend Jacob's in Poland, Sonny's in China. I'm oh my god, all these time zones. It's all It's why you always gotta when, especially with the emails and the Twitter DMs, you have to realize, hey, they're not gonna message you immediately, because you have to look at the time zone and be oh, I gotta wait a couple hours because they're probably asleep right now.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, especially with China, depending on the time of the year, they slide either 12 hours ahead of us or 13 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
So because of daylight savings time, most states in the United States do daylight savings time. So you got that factor.
The only states, oddly enough, bit of trivia, the only states that don't do daylight saving times, it's not really states, it's more counties that don't do it, is because of grazing purposes and herding and everything, like the actual cattle and whatnot.
Yeah, this is too much math for me. I can't wrap my head around it.
That's okay. All right, so let's hear about your project, man.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, I guess it was 2 years ago now, 2019, I launched the original Abductables, which was basically a sci-fi action comedy comic about aliens abducting basically a 1980s action hero. What would happen if aliens abducted Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime and tried to probe him? And then that goes about as well as you would expect. To give it a more modern reference, the guy basically goes full John Wick on the aliens who abducted him, and
it was glorious.
Page after page of gratuitous violence against little gray aliens, and that's about as fun as you would expect it to be, really. But this time around, like I said, we're going even bigger and better. Due to the events of the previous book, the abductee, as we call him, actually finds himself working for the very Greys that abducted him.
I saw that.
So it's kind of a role reversal where the gray aliens are going to need to put his murdering skills to the test to fight an even greater foe than himself in the form of the reptilian, who is a evil intergalactic warlord who wants to control all the planets of the galaxy and, more importantly, destroy the Greys themselves. So whereas the first book was very self-contained, though action-packed, this time we're going to see the entire galaxy. We're going to visit multiple planets. We're going to see multiple alien races, and it's I stole the tagline from James Cameron's Aliens when I say Abductables 2, this time it's war, because there really is war. Yeah. It's a war between alien races with the abductee caught in the middle, and it's going to be as action-packed as the first book was. This time, it's not even close. It's just going to be page after page of gratuitous alien violence. So, if that sounds like something that would entertain you, stay tuned because we're trying to get this book funded right now, and I think people will really enjoy the story we've got to tell.
All right. Then, of course, one of the first things we have to ask. I mean, it's one of the most, if you will, pressing questions of this, if you will, the Abductables series. And that is, quite frankly, are the Greys really that pathetic that they need a backwards planet human to save their ass?
Yes. Though I will say, in the first book, obviously the gray aliens, everybody knows the gray aliens. They're kind of a stereotypical thing. They got the big heads, the big black eyes, the tiny frail bodies. Clearly, they're not going to be that good in a physical altercation. But that being said, in book 2, we are introduced to their version of a elite fighting team known as the Little Green Men. And these are Greys that are actually combat trained. They've got the best equipment. They've got green battle armor and the best weapons Grey currency can buy. So while in the first book, they really didn't stand a chance against the abductee, in the second book, we do see that they can... While they certainly do need the abductees' help against the reptilians, they're not without their own means of fighting back. So, stay tuned for that.
Word.
Nice.
So, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm just looking at some of this art. Canals never disappoints, man.
No, yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad that he agreed to color the book himself because I think it works better than it would have been fine to bring on an outside colorist, but because the first book was done in his traditional grayscale black and white zip-a-tone style, I think the transition from that into his kind of painterly full color, it's almost like a watercolor type style. I think it makes for a nice transition between the two books. And it definitely has that Canales feel. So, I'm really happy with how the color pages are turning out.
Well, because the color pages look awesome.
Hey, Bob, can you share me so I can do the screen share?
Give me a sec. I was actually at their IGG, right, looking at it. Booyah.
Oh, nice.
That's what we're talking about right there. Obviously, we got that nice splash page of the abductee. That's we'll get him in his gray battle suit, and it's that right there tells you this is going to be a pulpy, fun sci-fi romp right there. I mean, that just screams classic like 1950s sci-fi serial, and it's we got a lot of preview pages on the campaign there, so you can get a feel for it. And I should say, I definitely do encourage people to back both books because you can, if you did miss out on the first Abductables, you can get that along with the second issue on the campaign. But if money is tight, feel free to just jump right into the second book because I promise you won't be too lost. It is self-contained in its own way, even though it does lead from the events of the previous book. But, it is self-contained in its own way, and it does have a satisfying conclusion. So, if you're looking for a crazy sci-fi comic, look no further.
Besides, the other thing, too, is you're getting 60 pages, so that's a good chunk of comics. Really, what a lot of people don't think about, that's almost 3 comics in one. You're
exactly. Modern comics, they used to be 22 pages. I think they've gone down to 20 pages per issue.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at it that way, that's basically 3 issues in one for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're probably going to get 20 pages with ads. So really, you're probably getting 18.
Yeah, I promise you, there won't be any Snickers ads in this comic, so you don't have to worry about that.
Pickles is here.
What's up, Pickles?
All right. Yeah, good to see Pickles. Did my order of his comic, so can't wait for that to come in.
Right.
So.
One of the things that really I'm looking forward personally to the Abductables 2 for one reason and one reason only. It's one of those books. It was one of the first books, like the first one, that, if you will, I kind of helped, if you will, get out there. I did what I could to push it, all the retweets and everything, same with everyone else's books. Granted, this is early me on Twitter. Well, not so much early, more like me finally using my account on Twitter.
Yep. Here's the other thing too. Mike is one of the first CG/indie creators that actually fulfilled their campaigns too. So that is another reason why back into the campaign.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you want to see Mike kind of get a little uncomfortable real quick? Mention a certain webcomic that he kind of stopped doing, even though it was badass.
Yeah, I always forget the first time I came on Media of the Minds. It wasn't even to promote the Abductables. That was even before that, when I was promoting my webcomic, Millennials. Yeah, that's I definitely do have some. I do have an update for Millennials. I do have at least one more chapter in the can.
Nice.
I don't want to. I guess I could say that it's most likely going to be done after that last chapter, but there's going to be an explanation for what happened to my canceled webcomic. So, it was. That feels like a lifetime ago when I first came on to talk about that. So yeah, Bob has been there from the beginning. He definitely helped promote the Abductables in a big way. And it's full circle now because here I am on the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, here's the other thing too, because we were talking about offline a few months ago, and we've been doing this show for almost 3 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we started in the summer of
2018.
2018. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, because we had met before that, but we hadn't had the idea about doing the stream. Because I started my channel before Bob did, or about the same time we did.
No, you started yours before mine. What it is, though, we met, remember, because I was trying to set up Meetings of the Minds. The first episode, you were the one who helped me finally get it to where we could do that. And we were late getting live on that because of...
That's true. That's right. Yeah, because that was the one where we had the all-star 18 people on the.
We had Tim Lim, Brian Ball. I think, if I remember right, even
Doug Ernst. I think Doug came.
No, Doug Ernst didn't come on. But we did have. Oh, I can't believe I am spacing his name right now. Edwin.
Well, I know. Yes, Edwin. We also Edwin. We also had Troy. Troy was on Slick Jimmy. Of course, you guys probably won't remember her. Oh my God, the one who brain fart is
that comic gal.
Just scream 2018 though.
Yeah, that comic gal.
It was a whole different landscape back then. I remember I remember Canales used to come on all the time back in the day.
Oh, Canales is welcome on anytime he wants. He already knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the big reasons why I didn't get him on the channel for a long time is because him and I were always on Wicked's podcast, every Saturday. So it didn't make sense to bring him onto my show because he was always on. I was always on with him during that show too. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy how much the indie crowdfunding landscape has changed since those days. So many more people are here. So many different projects are here. I always say this, but I feel like with with the first Abductables, I really kind of got lucky in a way because it was like right place, right time. I kind of got to ride that wave of that first wave of enthusiasm. And, what are the odds that a nobody creator like me just, comes out of nowhere and gets my book funded? So it's, I'm very grateful that I got to come in when I did.
I think the big thing is these second campaigns are a lot, when you get them, they're a lot hard fought for, in my opinion, now, because we don't have that wave that most people are riding on anymore. These early entry, these new ones, especially, even Jack Irons had to struggle to get its second and third ones funded.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Issue number 3 was a big thing. Like, everyone stepped in at the last one, but thankfully we got Cody and his book funded.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't take that long till down the wire to get yours funded. But if you need to, we'll have to do the same thing. Yeah, just kind of step in, because I want these projects done, and I'm going to throw that out to kids too. We want these projects to be done, because the thing is, we want the indie comic scene to thrive. We don't want to go the way that mainstream's going. We want indie comics for people to come and say, hey, I want something that's kind of kick-ass, throw it back to 80s and 50s sci-fi films. I want to throw out and say, I want the standard superhero that they'll get with Clay, Lex, and Sporkman. I want that. I want people to enjoy that, and I want people to keep coming back for that.
Definitely. And nowadays, when everybody is talking about the evils of corporatism and how all these companies kind of ruin everything, I think now more than ever it's important for independent creators. That's what indie's all about. It's about being independent. It's about doing it yourself, and putting these books out there ourselves. And that's what crowdfunding is all about to me, because without the support of the backers, funding these projects, we simply don't have the resources to make these comics a reality without this crowdfunding infrastructure. So, definitely grateful to everybody who supports indie creators.
And you guys both know, Clay, Lex, and I know Mike too. You're talking about not having the infrastructure. It's not cheap to make a comic. I don't care if it's 20 or 60 pages. It is not cheap. Eric and I we were talking about what we're going to do is, because we have we actually have the spinoff for Japan actually lined up. We actually have an artist and everything, lined up, and it's only going to be 16. It's going to be 15 pages. But, it's still going to cost us a lot of money just to do 15 pages with the artists we're having. But,
that's the thing is, I don't know, for people who don't make comics, it's the thing about comics is it's way, way, way cheaper to make than a movie, but it's still not cheap to make. Like, it definitely adds up. And that's why crowdfunding is essential, because it is, if you just everything adds up, paying the artist, paying for shipping, just it really gets expensive, paying for printing, obviously. So while it's much, that's thank God I'm not trying to make a movie, because I don't know how they do it, because
and not continuously lose money all the time. I could tell you this, so it cost us, our campaign, we raised about $4,100 between the Kickstarter and the IGG. Well, it cost us another $1,600 on top of that to get printed. That has to come out of our own pocket. So we're looking at we're already looking at about $5,700. That's just on the low end. That's not even us having a artist on board, because we had already paid for the art to be done in the back, years ago. So new art, let's say on average, let's say your artist, 22 pages. Let's say it cost you $2,000 for an artist, cost you $2,000 for a colorist. Well, right now you're already at $4,000. You haven't even hit your letterist or getting stuff printed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, and it's tricky too, because one of the tricks of crowdfunding they tell you is keep your funding goal as low as possible, because it helps you move up on the trending page, and be prepared to pay out of pocket because, you never know how your campaign is going to do. And it's like, yeah, it's that's why I did have to this time around. I did unfortunately have to raise my funding goal more than usual. The last campaign, our funding goal was 5,000. This time I did have to move it up to 8,000 just because, I paid so much out of pocket on the previous campaign. Like I'm just completely tapped out. So it could be brutal. It's I'm on my third crowdfunding campaign and I'm still. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you're as enthusiastic about comics as I am, that enthusiasm will get you through all the headaches that it entails. Because obviously I didn't get into comics for the business side of things, but it's just an unfortunate reality that you do have to think about stuff like that if you do want your comic to exist.
Hashtag facts.
Yep. Well, my best friend my other best friend who was part of co-creator at Sportman, his name is Chris. Like one of the things we have been doing this for now 14 years, and about 10 years ago he's like, well, it's not making any money. I want to get out of this, and we're like, well, you're the one who kind of got us started on this. You wanted to make this a business, but it's not making money. You all of a sudden you want to bail. It's like you want to be able to leave us to do all the work, but you want to sit back and make the money if it ever eventually makes money. It's like, but we were talking about and that's the thing Eric and I were talking about. We were like, we got to get ways to start making money because we've shelled out a lot of money through the years. And that's the thing people don't realize. And this is why I'm trying to get a lot of the indie crowd or backers to start waking up to the fact of, there's a reason why comics, a physical goal will cost you $7, $8, $9, $10, $20 because the fact that production wise, it is a lot of money. So we have to charge. We don't have the means of charging what Peter or Marvel DC charge. We have to go higher because the fact of we don't have the infrastructure.
That's definitely. I'll go ahead, Bob.
Peter put himself in debt early on, years ago when he first started Alterna, in order to get to where he paid his dues. That's the only point I wanted to make is he paid his dues. So
and that's the thing is you're not going to make money in comics, in your first 2 years. This is something that is going to create residual income down the road. 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road. This is why comics is not for the faint of heart. If you have a love for it, like I know all of us do, and this is why we have these stories to get out there and stuff like that. For me, I'm willing to spend my money, because it's a project I care about, But at the same point, I don't want people to suffer because I want you guys to be able to make the goals because then you have it out there. And 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the road, you remember, hey, remember what I did when we were struggling to make $8,000 for our campaign, and now it's you release a book, you're making $10,000. The way look at like Timothy Lim. Look, I use Tim Lim as a great example. Those guys did not make a lot of money on their first campaigns, and they came back. And now look, volume 3 of Common America.
Volume 3, Yeah, it's just oh my god, it's incredible. They shattered records. Like they're so good on Kickstarter right now.
That's why I really love their success story in particular because nothing against the big names like EBS or whatever but the difference there is that EVS, Dan Fraga, these are guys that built their name before they even entered the crowdfunding scene. They had 20 years of Marvel and DC work to show for themselves. And that obviously, rightfully so, gave them a big boost because they had established themselves. But like you said, Tim Lim, Mark Pellegrini, these guys totally started at the bottom, came out of nowhere and just built their stuff book by book, and now they're finally reaping the rewards, and it's great to see.
And Tim Tim did artwork beforehand, but he wasn't like a well-known artist or anything like that because he did a lot of work for Odin. But still, and that's the thing is, I use him, I use Brian Ball, I use any Mythoverse guys, I will even go Cody. Cody's got 3 comics out already. I mean, that's a big in 2.5 years. You got 3 issues out. Which is great. Here we're hitting your number 2. We've got Clayx finally releasing his project. So
after 2 years of development, hope it's worth the wait.
Oh, and we have don't know if y'all
Dylan.
noticed. Yep, yeah. Dylan in chat.
Yep.
Are you done screen sharing? Because I'll go ahead and remove that if you are.
Yeah, let me go ahead. I'm done screen sharing.
All right.
I think we're in a great. I think honestly, we're in a great time frame. I've never wanted to give up. It is hard. You get depressed. When things aren't moving the way that you think they should be.
Yeah.
But it's a grindstone. Trust me. After I was done ran into the campaign last time, I'm like, I'm done. I want to give up. I don't even want to work on the comic for a little bit. I'm like, I gotta take time. But. I think once you're done with the campaign for a month or 2, then you're like, okay, I need to get back to this. I need to hit the grindstone and and get my next thing out there. Which So
real quick, I had to say this. Anyone who tries selling Hot Wheels like the Enterprises and whatnot out of the box are dirty, uncultured motherfucker.
Well, yeah. You should be really unless you've had it out of your personal collection for some time, you should never be selling your stuff unpackaged. Like especially if you just got it at the store and you bring it home. So
FYI, I just busted myself out, I'm not gonna lie. One of the things I've been looking for is a proper sized Enterprise D for the background.
A proper size.
Yeah, let me turn the camera back on. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This way you can see it. Dupe. Camera.
There we
go. I has this little guy that I've had since I bought it in the 90s.
Oh, yes, the micro minis. Yes.
Yes, I'm even looking at finding these in the box, but they are expensive, so that's going to be something I do at a later date.
I have the entire micro mini both Star Trek and Star Wars micro minis.
This is the coolest part about this one that I always like. But anyway, sorry. So, had to sidetrack for a minute. I saw that and was like, I was getting kind of on the frustrated side. I'm like, come on, man! I just want the Starship Enterprise, man. Just trying to add it for a wall.
All right. So the other creator we have with us is Claylix.
Yeah.
I know. I remember meeting you. Almost 2 years ago too, about the same time.
Yeah, about 2018. Yeah, about 2018.
Because I know you were talking about, your character, and it was. I think your character is kind of a little different, little very unique, twist on the superhero genre. But you built your character up because I remember you first doing your character development, in 2018, and it was great hearing the character. So how I know you're doing a crowdfunder right now, correct?
Yeah, yes, I am on Indiegogo.
Okay. On Indiegogo. Okay.
Already got it up. I'll post the link now, real quick.
Okay. Look at that. So talk to us about your character. I know the beginning evolution. Where is he now with his campaign? I know it's you guys are doing something a little bit different, correct? With yours?
I believe what's different is that I'm working with a kind of very cool guy, Matthew. I think you know him. He's what's his name? Matthew Veely, like on Twitter.
Matt Veely?
Yeah. He's the creator of Otis Stein.
Oh yeah, Skinny.
Yeah.
So Skinny.
Okay, yeah. So I think like what we're doing differently, and this was like the perfect idea, is like, Matthew came to me as like, hey, I'm kind of good with books. Why don't we combine the books and then offer it as like a kind of perk for everyone? And I was like, sure, we'll do that. And then like the way that he explained it, I'm like, heck yeah, this is gonna be great. People are gonna love it. As far as I know, I definitely paid out of pocket, and like, you know, he got the book. You know, the book's gonna be delivered. I'm gonna see, like, you know, how the book is. Hopefully, it's good. You know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good.
Well,
Yeah, because I remember he said he was going to kind of open his own like fulfillment service. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was already doing that. So
yeah, he was like, he put his thing. It was like, oh, it was. At first, I thought it was like a printing service, but more like, oh, you basically just pay him, and then he pays the other people to print your stuff. You know, that's how his system works. It's not bad. Like, you know, he certainly. What I love about his kind of like, quote unquote kind of thing is that he wants younger and more inexperienced like comic creators to feel less stressed when they make their Indiegogos and Kickstarters. It's like, all you gotta do is just show your content. It's like, you just pay me and then I'll deal with the printing and all the other stuff. And it's like, he even offers like, if we get posters and all the other stuff, he'll deal with it too, as far as like, you know, when we talked about it, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's kind of awesome. I didn't know he was doing that. That's kind of cool because it takes a lot. You know, campaigns are hard enough to run. And then when you got to deal with fulfillment and everything and distributing, that's a lot of work to do
and a lot of stress.
And a lot of stress. Yeah. So, but coming back to your project, you know, I know you're doing something a little bit different. You're actually doing almost two stories in one together.
Yeah, it's like we got the one shot, and then we got the crossover book with my friend Nicholas, with does Demon Hunter Raven. You guys probably know him.
Yep, we love Nick.
And then again, like, Matthew came up with the combined book, so it's basically, you know, a lot of cool stuff you're getting from this.
Well, you know, the one good thing about that is too, like, you know, especially if you didn't have enough material for, say, a full comic book, doing that and doing the crossover allows people to, you know, kind of get invested in the character instead of, you know, like some creators might take a longer time to do it. You're like, okay, I got this short story, let me get this out real quick. You know what I mean? You know, and I think that's awesome that you're doing that, and I love that Nick's doing this team up with you. Like I said, we love Nick here. Demon Hunter Raven, I actually got to do my review on it. I got his 3 issues. He's going to come back on for issue 3. He's going to come back on when he does his crowdfunding in March. So, you know, so he's, you know, this I love it because he's doing 3 issues. You know, he's in the same thing. He's a smaller creator like us too. So, you know, this is an awesome thing. So, okay, so talk to us about Clay-Man. What is his powers, or what makes him unique as a hero?
I think, like, his powers are kind of like, let's see, the best I can explain is that, like, he's got the typical superhuman attributes. He can, I kept saying he lifts 25 tons because I wanted to make him a little stronger than Spider-Man, but not too overpowered, at least in the first part of his storyline. What makes him unique, I think people kept saying, like, again, like, it goes over and over again. People keep saying the mask is what attracts, you know, his character. It's almost like an allure, you know? And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted from it. And especially, like, when you get a whole bunch of people, like, when I already got the prototype costume and the main costume down, people like the prototype costume more than the main costume. And I'm like, at least, like, you know, that's kind of somewhat the attention that I wanted from it, you know. If you got the pictures, you could, like, screen share it, like, it, you know, you could see, like, oh, this is you know, what it is, you know.
You got that up, Bob, to screen share?
I'm getting there.
Yeah, take your time.
No. I am so not complaining. You are saving me from possibly purchasing a set of 3 of the micro machines in the box for $30.
We're witnessing Bob's addiction firsthand, live on stream.
Dude, it's become my addiction. It has become my addiction. I'm not even going to try to deny it. Collectibles is like, I'm like, oh man, I need my collectibles. I need them. I need my collectibles. I need my fix, man.
I have they just announced the other day, because I collect the Legends line in Marvel. So they just announced they when they did their first Fantastic War wave at the end of last year. I'd gotten all of them, and they just announced the green and She-Hulk came in gray in that wave because of the whole. Possibly doing the whole thing with the Skrulls. Well, they just now announced her costume in green, with her in the green and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I shouldn't pre-order this. No, because the nice thing is going through the one place I go through for my stuff, I don't have to pay up front. When I do my pre-orders and stuff like that. So, which is nice. So I can pre-order stuff ahead of time. So I gotta stop the addiction. It's like, I want this figure. I want this figure. I want this figure. No, you don't have that money to do it.
Yes, like I said, when I came across it, I was like, at first I was like, oh, that's cool, and just looking for an Enterprise D, and then I found literally one of them, the set that Enterprise D I just busted out with, and I used to have the whole set. Actually, I used to have a couple of these. Not the ones that I'm trying to get, but I did have a couple of these because I had the pack that had the movie collection 2. So I had movie collection 2, movie collection and the one for next. Was that just the Star Trek Generations one? Yeah, and the one for Star Trek Generations. And so I'm like, I kind of want these just for the background because I think they would be dope as hell. But like you said, that's I have an addiction. I have a problem, guys. I don't know how to handle it.
My strange addiction.
All right. So now that we've talked about collectibles a bit, and something that everyone can agree is awesome to have, and it's totally not strange to be addicted to getting collectibles. Let's look at the art. Look at that mask. Look at that mask. He's got a smiley face. He's happy.
Man, this was like the first page me and my artist Sonny worked on, and it was like. Because sometimes a part of me is I either work on the first 5 pages or I work on the quote unquote promo page, the page that'll grab people by the balls and say, this is why you should read my comic. And I'm like, yep, this was the one. And I think Sunny absolutely, as far as I remember, she absolutely loved how I wrote it. And I'm like, my editor Mercy really liked it too. How I wrote it, and it's like, yeah, this is good because you're building momentum to get from scene to scene because you can see him readying up his jump. He jumps, he trips on his foot, he falls down, all the shelves broke in on his ass, and all the criminals just look in and it's like, what the fuck just happened?
Like, dude, it really does flow well, and that's something that a lot of even me myself, working on my comic and trying to, because I decided to go back and redo issue 1, make what was going to be issue 1, issue 2, and this thing I've noticed is when writing action, it's very difficult to get the right transition effect, if you know what I mean.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to just have a big problem, and you see this happen a lot in modern comics, where they will expect you to make a leap from they did something, like they were here, now they're over there. They don't show the in between. They don't show it, and it's kind of the fill in on your own what happened. Now, on occasion, that is a good thing to do. It's if you're making a joke out of it,
but not for superheroes. Superheroes always you have to have your follow through, and I think part of the problem is so many of the modern writers. Don't know how to write superheroes.
Nope.
Yes. I mean, the whole point is yes. When you're throwing a fist punch, yes, you show partly the thing, then you show the final one. There should be something in between, the transition scene. That's film 101 too. First off, to anybody who knows film, you always got to have your transition scene, but you don't have to show every transition scene. It's just 1 or 2 to set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if anybody's struggling with that, I definitely recommend both Understanding and Making Comics from Scott McCloud. I don't know if you guys have read those books. They're very, very helpful when it comes to the craft of making comics and how to transition between panels and pages. And that's the Bible as far as making comics is concerned. So definitely check that out.
Yeah.
And I think your artist has to be able to translate that too. Like you as a writer can write it and you can translate it because you see it, but your artist has to be able to understand that too. They need to be able to translate what you're writing on the thing and going through. And by the way, I've never read anything from him, and I've heard they're good books. It's just for me, like I actually I made movies with my best friend. Him and we actually physically made movies, so you kind of learned that. And I actually we actually wrote scripts and stuff like that, and I actually took acting classes and stuff, so I understand the transitional stuff and movie making. So I understand the transitional thing, but that if people don't have that option, what you said definitely makes sense to grab, and highly recommend those books.
Yeah, it's like the best way I could put it to people when it comes to trying to catch people's attention with no matter what product you're trying to push, whether it's movies, comics, video games, so on and so forth. It's good to have an attention for, if you will, you have to be able to see it in your head. Does that make sense? Like you have to be able to see it like a movie. If you can't see it and you're just trying to sit there, and Tom decides that he's going to run along the side of the building like he was a ninja, then he does a backflip, and then you're having action.
You completely skip the backflip. You do.
Yeah.
It's sometimes too when you make like overpowered characters. And then you're literally just like skipping stuff because you're like, oh, they're overpowered. We don't need to see you. Oh, they punch this guy or kick this guy. But at the same time, it's like, we're human. We should be able to see that because then what you're doing is you're making the action boring.
Yep.
And then it's like it's almost like with a Superman fight or a Dragon Ball Z fight. It's like we get interested and then get engaged when we actually see it happening. Because again, if it goes too fast, then it's boring. Because you go. Yeah.
To be fair, the thing that DBZ does right with that though is when they do show just the blur lines and the explosion of them hitting and everything. Like for instance, I'm specifically referencing the Cell Saga here.
Yeah.
And the Cell game.
Definitely. Yeah, Cell games was good.
And I don't even like DBZ like that. That's a funny thing. But
it's fine.
All the fighters on the ground are like they're fighting literally so fast that unless you have the high power level that can keep up with it, all you're seeing is a blur.
Yeah.
That you can do that for exposition purposes and explaining.
Oh yeah, totally. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
But just going, whatever. I mean, you're pretty much telling people that you're spitting in their face and saying, "Oh, you wanted to see something fun and actiony?" Yeah, no.
Nope.
There's a reason why I want to see Superman kick ass because he's OG. You know what I mean? I don't want to see Superman doing expositional stuff, of why Superman bad or Bizarro's bad or something like that. No, I don't get Superman comics for that. I get Superman to kick ass and take names.
It's like it reminds me of it's always fun to I love it when writers for example, I love when writers get creative with the Flash. Because we all know he is the literal speed meister, but they do it creatively that we can see what he does with his speed. Obviously the whole slow motion thing, whatever. When he fights, when he if you guys remember when he built a freaking apartment by himself, that was very, very fun to watch. And
I think a better example of this, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a good one too.
That is the bar fight scene is a prime example of that. You can sit there and say, well, it's just the Quicksilver scene from the X-Men movies. It's like, no. While it's similar, it's not the same scene. The Quicksilver scenes generally, how can I put it?
I hated that scene.
Which one? Like in the I'm trying to remember, Days of Future Past or
yes. I know a lot of people like that scene. I hated that scene because he acted like a stupid fool in that scene.
I think that's it. It's the lack of a fun factor that like the character is not having fun while using his powers. Quicksilver's just doing his thing. You don't really get a synergy with it. Sonic, you feel that synergy. He's a fun child doing his thing while also protecting his friend. So basically it's a hero doing hero stuff while also having fun with it.
Yes, and they matched the scene correctly music-wise. Like they did everything right. The Quicksilver scene is just, I don't even think they had like proper like I don't even remember the names of the I don't know the name of the song they used in Sonic, but in the Quicksilver scene, I think they just used standard instrumental unit music.
Yeah.
And to me that was a missed opportunity that Sonic showed how to do right. They did it a bit better in Apocalypse, but it felt too much like they're like, oh, we fucked up the first one, let's redo. And they still didn't do it as good.
Right, and I think the two perfect examples of them using speed powers correctly, besides the Sonic one, I'll give the first couple seasons of Flash, seasons of The Flash, how they did speed correctly. They did not make him look stupid or idiotic. He did what he did. Yes, he had fun doing the character, but I think both when they use Quicksilver, and I'll even go to the one in Avengers, I thought it was not the greatest scene. Sad that they killed him literally in that movie, but still,
in the stupidest way possible, they killed this character.
And that's like literally, I think most of the hate for Age of Ultron is because they killed Quicksilver and they gave Ultron too much life. It's a solid in-between movie. It's not as good as the Avengers. It was a good bridge movie. Like, most of the complaints are things that, I can see they should have put more thought into and done them better. Yeah. But for the most part,
the problem is they were never going to fill up. They were never going to be able to make a movie as successful what the first Avengers film was. It literally, the first movie was so good that it was hard to follow up with a sequel that would be as good.
Yeah. Dude,
plus, I think the MCU was so they were so known for plotting things out 10 movies in advance. I feel like Age of Ultron was kind of just like a transitional movie. They were already thinking of Infinity War by the time they were making that movie, I'd imagine.
Totally.
It was almost like filler in a way.
Yeah. They're like, hey, who can we do? Because, honestly, Ultron is a much bigger... If you've read the Avengers comics, he's a much better badass than what he is in that movie, as a villain. But there was no build-up for him, in my opinion,
No, it's it is the most stupidest... I don't mean... honestly, we should be talking about my comic, but I was going to say, it's what is it? The way that is the stupidest way becomes evil. And it's everyone I think, even as a kid, little kid me, I kept joking about on Twitter saying that, not Thanos. Ultron looked at Twitter for 5 minutes and already wants to kill us all.
I think they should have kept him before we get back to your comic. My final statement on this, they should have kept him the way he was at first, where he was... he was kind of confused. He was very cold. When they started making him had him making jokes and being very human, it just didn't work out right.
Yeah.
All right. So, with that, sorry,
that's fine.
We do bounce between topics here, but we generally get back onto the right topic once we.
Yeah, it was goofy.
Yeah. All right. So. And this is I'm guessing, a page from the crossover with Yee. I still need to read the actual comic. I've yet to.
Demon Hunter. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you go. What did you say?
I was gonna say I really enjoyed Demon Hunter. Now I did talk to Nick about there was some transitional stuff that I felt was kind of off, especially in issue 1. But issue 2 definitely jumped up.
I know, right? Issue 2 was I was damn, bro, you really got got better with this, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, like, probably about in the future, his art is going to get so much better than what it is now, personally. But, yeah. And he's also working with Rob for some pages and stuff like that. And I'm like, damn, like, he's working with him, too, is like, man, if because I think I know he's going to make a side comic with him. I'm like, that art is really, really good. It works so well with his. If you guys know Rob.
Which Rob? I'm sorry.
Let's see. The Rob from I know he made like I think a variant cover art for issue number 3 for like in the future for Demon Hunter Raven.
I have to see here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So many Robs.
like, what's that?
So many Robs in comics. It's hard to get.
Yeah. I'm Robert. That's my first name.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but like my name is like people just call me like because I just like my name's been so engraved that people just call me Clay at this point.
Mm-hmm.
At least again, it's like a handle name kind of.
Well, that's what they do with me. Like everybody calls me Spork. I mean, they know like I'm the only Chuck and everything. Oh, we got Canales. Canales is it. Give him the link. Let's get him in here.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Don't worry.
Like I'm the only Chuck pretty much in indie comics that most people know. But guess what I'm called by? Because I'm the face of Sporkman. Like my best friend is there too. But like I am the face of Sporkman, so everybody calls me Spork. So it's like I feel ya.
Yeah.
I just learned that your name is Chuck. To me, you're just Spork. Yeah. So.
And to be fair, what's funny is Bob's not even my real name.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Yep.
Well,
and most people know, but for those who don't, name's actually Josh.
Nice.
My whole life has been a lie. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Oh, please, you knew my name.
I think what it is like you just kind of gets these things like like I have to with Eric because he's never on here a lot. I actually have to use monikers to talk to him. Like when I was telling about the stream tonight, I'm like, yeah, we got Clay X and now with Michael, I'm like, yeah, we got Mike Darrick on. He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, Mike, you pretty much always use your normal name, but for other people, like we use our monikers because that's the character we use to Twitter and all the other handles because that's what you want to kind of be known as. Like everybody knows Canales, you know what I mean? It's just the name you pick. I think.
Yeah, I think it's actually probably smart the way I'll do it because it's definitely when people associate your name with your actual project, that's just great promotion,
Yeah.
Yep.
But now the big difference I think for you though, I think is that you have 3 different projects that kind of make it hard to do like it's not all set in the same universe. Whereas like we are setting it into the Sporkman universe, so hence that's why it makes kind of more sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I got Abductables, and then I have my superhero comic Grayscale, which, like you said, they're not really in the same universe or anything like that.
Oh man, I was like when I saw Grayscale, I don't know if I remember if I promoted the hell out of that, like, but I was like, hell yeah, I like, and your superpower, the way that you described, I'm like, we need more superpowers like that because I haven't really seen much of it. Like what was it? It was trying to remember something about the karma. I think it was.
Yeah, basically he can see and manipulate people's karma.
Yeah,
so,
I'm like, we need more superpowers like that.
And
surprisingly, not that many karma-based heroes or even villains out there. So yeah.
And don't forget, when you went back to Grayscale, you were able to get some of the best comics in America. Listen here, when I was wrestling back in the day, I made sure that only the choicest of choice people I was surrounding myself with. Then I started hanging out with actual wrestlers. Then I lost my career. Grayscale, he didn't surround himself with such losers like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. No, he didn't surround himself with those thieves. He surrounded himself with people that made sure he did what he needed to do.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, feel it. Preach it, brother.
So yes, okay. So you have, just so you know, Claire Lex, because you're new to meeting the minds. Bob Jones is Alex Jones, but for comics.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah,
The
it
wrestler.
kind of came out. I was saying it kind of came out of the fact of we needed some. Alex is very crazy talking.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
Yeah, so we kind of like, what if we did one for comics? Because everybody thinks there's this conniving, scheming plan behind the background of people deplatforming, even though hence we found out to become true. Because how many times has Alex stuff come out being true? Almost everything. 99% of what he talks about is very close to being true, and it's like, oh my god, like the guy is like crazy, but still.
Yeah. And then you have the wrestler, which kind of popped up as just something for me to have fun with. Because if you like, the whole idea for the wrestler character just came up actually because of Grayscale. Because we were joking, and I just kind of, we were doing the Grayscale live stream. Chuck couldn't make it that night because he had to work, and I was like, I'll do you a program. You know what? I will. It literally, the birth of it was me just. Literally spewing out jokes about his comic as if I was like some 80s, 90s, Hulk Hogan Macho Man wannabe. And so now, if the offer's there, the offer's always there. If anyone wants me to make like a little short with my characters for their comics, just let me know, dude.
You made that awesome trailer for Grayscale. If people haven't seen that, maybe we can post it. Because it's he cuts a hell of a promo on Grayscale, and it was a sight to behold for sure.
For a second, I thought you were like, "Oh, we're gonna put Bob Jones in as a wrestler. We'll have Clay-Man wrestle him." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, give me that Spider-Man Sam Raimi shit in there."
You know what I'm talking about, brother?
Staying away from you.
Bonesaw.
That outfit's nice. Did your boyfriend give it to you?
Actually, yeah.
Oh man. Can't make
he
jokes
should
like
have
that
said
anymore.
that. That would have been a great line.
Oh man.
But
2002, different time.
All right.
Yeah, great times.
Yep.
But so, like, my whole thought is with everything going on with Claylex, or like the, if you will, the persona.
Yeah, persona. Mm-hmm.
Like, the big thing is that, if you will, you could use that as a way to help push your comic. You just have to, if you will, flesh it out. I mean, my whole thing is I'm not really like actually that entertaining. So, and I admit this.
How dare you?
I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like I. Let's just put it to you like this: when I'm making an ass of myself and being funny, my videos get the views. When I try to do something that actually has, as bad as it sounds, I'm super political. Everyone here knows it. I'm not even trying to hide it.
I understand. It's like, it is what it is. Like, people are actually, speaking of, people are like surprised sometimes. It's like, why don't you talk about politics? I'm like, why? I don't care about it. I just want to make comics. If people want to talk about politics, that's their thing. It's not my thing.
Yep.
I just want to make comics, and then they kind of respect me for that because it gives me more time to show my comic, and then they get interested, and bam, money, and then I put that money and put it in the comic. Easy peasy.
Right? But, and that was one of the things that I guess I always, if you will, I guess you could say I learned very early on when it comes to those who have, I guess you could say, the best success with crowdfunds. Their personas are generally something that catches people's eye. Like, and so keeping politics out of it just means you're that much better off.
Yeah. It's like, but it's like, I was gonna say, did you guys want to know like how fast my Indiegogo reached 100%?
How fast?
16 hours, day one.
Nice.
Yeah, I was, because like it was freaking crazy because like literally I think man, I don't know, like a lot of people wanted to be like, yeah, we're going to support you. What was it? The Mythoverse. Like, if Sport can help me out, like, name some people. So we got the Mythoverse. Sport, yeah. Definitely think Michael was interested too, of course. What else? Who else? Like some good people. Like if you guys ever saw it, I think I don't think Tim saw it. Would have been cool if Tim, because I think he definitely knows me. I like to joke around that like it's like, oh, I hope I'm as successful as he is and stuff like that with Clay-Man, but I want to take my time when I don't want to like rush in and
Well, you were smart because you were promoting it for a long time before you launched. So,
oh yeah, like 2 years, obviously, and like I said, I had so many connections amongst those 2 years, and it's like I said, it's crazy how many people just came in and swooped in and said, "Yeah, we're going to support you."
Yeah, because like Clay-Man was like it was like a character that people knew about even before the campaign launched, which is great because like you said, it makes people want to support it more.
And I took it to heart that like I would invest like at least like a lot of money into like the artwork, so at least like it's a promotional type thing, and like people were a bit surprised when I started doing crossovers with other characters, like indie characters, and that was fine, but that was like a good way because then I could like spread more Clay-Man around,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, the worst thing you want to do to have people not recognize your project is you go the time and you're building your image. People don't associate you with your project, and then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, well, I actually, I don't know if you guys heard the one unboxing. Elvizar did an unboxing, and he completely forgot about our crowdfunder and getting it. It's like, yeah, that's not the place I want to be at right now. It's like you got to stay fresh in people's minds, and I think you did it. In my opinion. When you first announced you were doing the crowdfunder, I'm like, finally, Clay Alex is finally doing something for his character. I get to see his character in print.
Yeah, like I said, like real quick, it's like I said, honestly, if it wasn't for Matthew, it would have taken me a lot longer to like do the Indiegogo. But yeah, like I said, I'm happy I got a distributor to help out and stuff. It's like now it's like, I'll definitely be working them for like the foreseeable future to get like more Clay-Man stuff out. Cause like after this is done, I'm probably gonna do this same campaign but put in a Kickstarter. I'm hoping people like I could get some new peeps coming into Kickstarter and see how we'll do with that. Like
I think you can because I always tell people I know we had that exchange going on. Don't if you can don't let Kickstarter out just because you don't like the platform.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah. I was gonna say I was gonna say don't be afraid to do the same project twice on both platforms because you'd be surprised how many people might not know you're there on that platform, and then they'll come and swoop in. You'll make, who knows, you might make even more money than the other platform you were in. Because your popularity grew.
I mean, I know some people can't do it. There are some people who literally, would have their project taken down by certain people on, that's like if, EVS went and did something on Kickstarter, he wouldn't even probably get on Kickstarter, because because those people have such a, hard on, they hate them so much. But, the thing is, like any other indie creator, don't leave the money on the table if you can avoid it, but you got to offer something a little bit different, maybe a different cover or something like that. But, I mean, for me, I'm just glad to see you actually get out there. Like, I'm glad to see Mike's got another project going, I'm glad to see, Vesty got 2 issues, I mean, for me, that's awesome to see indie creators actually getting stuff out there that things are getting done, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, like I said before, it's crazy how much bigger the landscape is now compared to 2 years ago. Just so many creators coming in, so many new projects. I think it's, some people might say, oh, it's overcrowded, but I think it's actually a good thing because, more people that are crowdfunding, more eyes on crowdfunding in general. And, I think I'd like to think that it's good for everybody, the more indie books that are out there.
And like people don't like have to realize that like between an indie creator and a normal comic creator who works at Marvel or DC, like we tend to like, at least in my opinion, we tend to put our all into these books because we don't have like a super big budget again, so we have to put our all into this. Make sure the writing's good, make sure the editing's good, make sure the artwork is on point, everything is on point. Otherwise, like we'll fail and then like that's it. Like it's not like it's not like, oh, we could start over again because we got an infinite budget to like go in. So.
Well, and I'll even echo that to a point. There's another reason why we can't fail campaigns. A big person, they might fail a campaign and they decide, hey, we're never going to fulfill it, or they won't fulfill campaigns. We're like, no, we can't do that because our reputation's on the line. We have. I know,
like. A reputation. That's why, again, I was scared about doing the Indiegogo campaign because if I didn't fulfill my stuff, no one would ever trust me again to do this. Like obviously, I'm not going to take the money and swindle like some people. But I'm not going to name names. But it's just it scared me. I'm in my early 20s. I don't want to screw people over. I'm a nice guy. I it would just like I'd give myself a heart attack if I ever did that.
Yeah, I'll never understand people that I can't even imagine that it like I guess they do. Some people do take the money and run, but I can't wrap my head around that.
I know. It's like, and again, like I always keep telling people over and over again, like I show like my Indiegogos and my other platforms that I get money from. It's like, oh, I'm gonna use this money for this, and I do it. Of course, I always bring the proof, and like again, people love me for it because again, I'm not a liar, And if it's delayed, I tell the truth. I'd be like, oh, this is delayed or this delayed, because like Cody gave me that good advice. It's like you always have to update. No matter the good or the bad or the ugly, you always have to update because then they'll totally understand. That's how I totally understand what a lot of these indie creators,
And the thing is with indie creators, they're I do hold to the mantra: if you can get your stuff done and get it out for,
see a need, all a need.
Yeah. So if you can have your project when you're going into your Indiegogo campaign, at least either 50 to 80 to 100% done. I'm going to back your project. I have a project that I backed on Kickstarter that they were supposed to go to print a year ago, and they just sent a message. I kid you not, guys. So they said, oh, well, we messed up on some of the pages. We need to redo them. And they're like, oh. So then they're like, oh, well, it's going to be another 3 or 4 months before we get to print. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, no. I understand a year or two, but like they went like 3 or 4 months without an update, and they're like, then all of a sudden they pop to something. No, you should be updating monthly, saying, hey, what's going on? Hey, we realized we were starting to do this. We're starting to do this. Then here's the kicker: they decide to add 20 more pages to the project.
Oh my God. I hate, honestly, that too, that sometimes it's a double-edged sword, and I'm usually for the I don't like it. It's like, hey, here's our not extended goal. It's like, oh, if we reach this amount of money, we'll add more story content. And personally, for me, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work. Sometimes it works, but for me, I would not take that path. I would take it from another goal. Like, I don't know, stickers or something like that. Because like when I make my scripts, that's how much story you're getting. If you want more story, I'll make a side comic.
Yeah, and anybody who, I'm not really a fan of that stretch goal either, just because, not only does it add time to how long it's going to take to make the book. But,
exactly.
If you're, that's definitely something you should have planned out ahead of time. So, like, anybody who does that, like, they should factor that into how long it's going to take to make the book before the campaign even launches. Like, okay, we're going to have this stretch goal. But to me, it just seems like an excuse to be even more late than they already are.
Right. Well, and what I did was in our case, like when we were running behind, I let my backers know right away, saying, "Hey, here's where we're at. This is what's going on." Like we originally had issues with our colorist getting stuff done, because another project got pulled from our project to do another project, and we're like, no, we paid her first. We're like, we paid her first. She should be working on our project. But she got pulled, and we're like, we worked it out with the other person. We're like, well, okay, well, then we started running into issues with the printing on top of it. We, the printer kept muffing around and like, oh, we'll get to it. May became August became September. So it was finally like the end of October when we finally started getting some of our first wave. We're like, okay, well, now here we have another wave that we need to get done. And we're now over a year overdue. But I've been updating. Oh my God. I've been updating, but the thing is, the difference. I'm updating our backers monthly to tell what's going on.
Yeah, I understand.
To give
it's just like crazy with the printing. Yeah.
That's the thing is people are very forgiving as long as you just keep them informed.
For me, it's like I got to update people. If because I use Kablam, and I know Kablam, you guys know Kablam, like the printing company in the studios. It's like I definitely got to update people if they are late, because understand, because of COVID, Kablam is understaffed and a lot of pressure.
They're backed up right now.
It's like I'll admit, it's like my friend Josh got very heated over with Kablam, and then some people got heated. I'll admit I apologize to Kablam before because I got heated because I was trying to defend Josh, but I was like, it's my fault. I shouldn't have been angry to defend him because again, these are it's good. I have a lot of copies printed from Kablam, and they are very good quality. So it's like I really shouldn't be it's like what was this guy? The Kama Shodan? Oh, okay.
Kama Shodan.
Yeah, I mean Yeah, so I mean, I think there's room always. If you're going to be late, let your backers constantly know. Keep in touch with them. Don't just in my opinion, there's another project that I'm not gonna give away. There's one project they went and did their digitals.
Oh, nice.
And we hold on. I don't know if you're responding.
I was saying nice about saying I'm Bob's artist. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, okay. Well, so
also literally, I've known Kuma for say about 22 years now. 21, 22 years.
Oh, nice.
Now we got Neo.
That's Neo over there. Not the chosen one, but the other chosen one.
The one thing that where another comic that I backed. And they sent out the digitals, but I backed them on a physical tier. It's been over a year. No, a year. Actually, I'm sorry. Rephrase that. It's been a year and 4 months since the last update on their campaign.
Oh, God.
That whole period. And I was supposed to get a physical. No campaign. Nothing on this campaign whatsoever.
Later, Kuma.
So it's important, in my opinion, if you're going to want to get people back, you got to update your backers on where your project is. If you're not going to do one every month, do one every 6 weeks, or don't go 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years without updating people and letting your backers know where you're at. I'm more forgiving that way. You know what I mean? I still got projects. There's other projects I'm still waiting for that I backed 2 years ago and still haven't gotten. But the creators updating. So,
well, one, let's just say, best way. I think the last time we got an update from it was a while ago, and I'm kind of like,
Now, there is a particular somebody, that we backed and unfortunately had some personal things happen. And I'm a little bit more, but he should have, let's say, hey, here's what's going on. And, this particular, he should have said, okay, well, here's this personal thing that's happened to me. I'm dealing with this right now. I'm going to try to do. Another person I know, another person who I know in the indie scene, they constantly keep stuff updated a month. And then there's also that we're not going to talk about what's his name from Detective Dead or Dead Detective or whatever.
Oh my God, dude!
You'll never see that ever again,
dude. I got. It was almost like I don't want to get all flustered or mad over that, but I'm just saying is like I kept telling myself over and over as I watched like a video of like someone talking about it. I was like, I will never be this guy. I will never be this guy. Because I'm like, I would get a heart attack if I found out that in the future I'd steal money from people and just use it for other stuff. Like heck, most of the time I just spend my money on like comic book stuff, for my stuff, not the actual comic book stuff. Because again, that's what Detective Dead did.
Well, yeah.
The thing that pissed me off too about that was some people were defending him, and I'm like, yeah, because he bought your book. That makes you a jerkwad for doing. I'm sorry, it's like it makes you a jerk for doing that just because you're trying to be Mr. Shill because he bought your book. I'm like, I would. It's like I think like I talked to a friend about it. It's like if that situation happened to me, it's like I wouldn't. It's like don't refund him, but don't condone his actions. Say that like I don't tolerate. I would never tolerate that. You use that money for your stuff, not. Yeah.
If you raised almost $39,000, could you imagine what we could do for $39,000, guys? I could get issue number one of. I could get like issue number one. I'm gonna get my calculator out to see like if I could get Clay-Man issue number one done. I got the prices done for my artists. Let's see. Hold on. Give me a second.
I can get like 6 issues out of that.
Let's talk about what what's his name raised for Mitch Brettweiser, what they raised for their superhero comic that I backed. They raised $177,000. I said for $177,000, I can get 22 issues of Sporkman done out the door for what they did. And they can't even get their comic out the door. But they got it to Walmart, but they can't get their backers to.
My God. It's like, it's always like that stuff is like, what is it? It's always like the whole, we could do better. And obviously we can. It's just like, unfortunate people give money to stupid people. Unfortunately, it's how the world works. We have to make the most of it. But yeah, Neil, we're doing good. Where's your book? Well, I gotta wait for fulfillment. Well, I'm still gonna go in demand, so definitely. But other than that, definitely get the fulfillments going.
Oh, I could easily get you the link to that book again there, Neo. 1 second. From where I was I sent Canales the link to the stream. I don't want to be trying to, or the link to the stream yards, I should say. I don't want to be putting that.
Let me rephrase that. So Red Rooster is up to $197,000.
Oh my God.
Almost $200,000, guys. What we all could do for $200,000, we would not have to worry about crowdfunding for quite some time.
Dude,
well, that's why I tweeted this out a while ago. Just because I know it'll never happen. But if it does happen, I'd be happy for people to call me out or hold me to it. I said if any of my crowdfunded campaigns ever made 6 figures, the next book that I release, I wouldn't even crowdfund. I'd just pay everything out of pocket and just sell it directly because.
Yeah, me too. I would do that too.
Or what you could do is you could do the Tim Lim Mark Pellegrini model, which is they've already got the books done. You're just pre-ordering it and getting the non-AP variant.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. That's a good model. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of use Indiegogo as like a storefront almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and not only on top of that, I mean, that's how these guys constantly keep funding their next comic. Yeah. Now, I don't get, like, I don't worry about the AP version for Mark and stuff like that. And I always back them on the good level because, you know why? They fulfill. You know, why do I keep doing rags? Because they fulfill. Why do I keep doing, people like the Mythoverse? Because they fulfill. You know what I mean? So that's why, and it's the same thing too. You know, I will back your guys' project. I'll back your project, Claylex project. You know why? Because I know Skinny fulfills because he's done his Otis Stein. So therefore, I know it's in good hands.
Oh, yeah. And it was a cool thing too. Speaking of, like, another shill thing I gotta say is, like, I did put in an add-on bonus for an extra $1. People can get Otis Stein on digital. So, like, I would personally say, please read the book. It's really, really good. I read it. It gave me if I could do a quick little review. If you like, I guess, like, the old Devilman, like the old anime manga, it definitely gives you that kind of vibe, and I love it. So I'm like, again, take my word for it. It's really, really good.
That's a great deal, $1 for the digital copy.
I know, yeah. That's what I think Matthew came up with the suggestion. I was like, sure, I could do that too. And I just want to go for future. Yeah, the Tim Lin model is great, but what was it? For going, like, into the future, like, for my issue number 1, like, crowdfund, because I'm most likely gonna do it because everyone's awesome like that. But my friend Drew Pritchett, I think his name is, he already made a variant cover. Like, I was like, are you sure you want to do this for me? I mean, it's gonna take me a while. I was like, nah, man, I'll do it. Like, I'll make the cover for you. I think I have it. Hold on. Let's see. I wonder if I could share the screen, because I'm like, I got 2 monitors. I don't know if it'll show up on my second monitor.
You can select which monitor you wish to use.
Okay, let's see. Okay.
Yep. So when you click on the share.
Yeah. So I click share screen, right, and then okay, screen 2. There we go. Let's see. So can you guys see it?
And it is. You are now in control, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Love that.
Okay, so I think, like, I showed everyone on, like, I showed everyone, like, I went on to Twitter, Discord, Minds. Like, Minds I'm actually doing pretty good. I just use that for shilling stuff, like, but yeah, people really like it on Minds as well. But yeah, like, I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because, again, I'm the nice guy. I'm like, I don't want you guys, like, doing, because, like, my budget's kind of scarce. I wouldn't want to, go out of pocket and all that and lose money. But, like, hey, Nicholas, like, did before with the crossover. Drew was like, hey, it's okay as long as, I offer this as a variant cover for the issue 1 campaign. So I'm like, sure, okay, I'll get this going. What else I want to show? Hold on, let me stop sharing for a sec so I can move the next picture.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Okay. So let me. Okay. This is the. Give it a second. This is the line art for issue number 1.
Nice.
So I definitely used the Bruce Banner Incredible Hulk reference for this. I went to a few Discord comic pals, see if they could help out. They changed Rob's posing a bit to make it more painful instead of him actually getting excited to be mutated. Because, like, again, going through the script, I'm like, no, he's not supposed to be excited over this. He's actually supposed to hurt. Because if you ever watched the 1996 Hulk, where Bruce Banner basically gets that bomb exploded in his back while he's reeling in pain, that's basically what you're supposed to experience it. And I haven't got it down to a T.
That is dope, man. That is definitely
I know.
Dope.
It's like it took a lot out of pocket, but it was like totally worth it. And now he's like going to do the coloring.
Yeah, and I think art that is like that. You, like, for instance, for our cover for our trade, we got done with Brad Ashworth from Handyman. So it was worth it. You know what I mean? We had him do the artwork. When you get good artwork like that, for me, I think it's worth the money. No matter if it is pricey, it is worth the money. Because It's something else. I mean, that for a cover is, dude. That once that's colored, I think that's going to be balls awesome.
I do have. Hold on, yeah. I'll show off. Let me do that. Yeah, because like again, I got to keep my stuff private, But I'll show more stuff. Yeah, because people really like the Clayman stuff. So I'm gonna show. Okay, so I got 2 colored pictures I could show off. I got the Jack Irons one and the Paragon Prime one. Because people really like those ones. Okay.
Let me.
Yeah, this is the Jack Irons one. The coloring is like, it's funny. It's like the coloring definitely grew on me, and then people said like, it's got a very 80s and 90s style in terms of the coloring. I was gonna hire. It's like with Michael. I was gonna hire another colorist, but I think like the way Ivan does his coloring, I'm like, what am I kidding? Like he does great coloring,
Yeah, that looks great. I love that.
Yeah, it's like probably my favorite bits is like the little robots in the upper left corner, the spaceship, the ship flying on the upper right, the smoking. I particularly like on Jack's cigar. That's one of my favorites. And the rain. I think it's supposed to be raining, like a little bit of rain patter going down Clay's chest. There's just little itty bits of small details that Ivan does that make you really appreciate the art. Not to mention that like it's so dynamic. Like I'm just like I always make it as a joke. Is like, but Italian artists, they know how to make their art dynamic. Like especially if they're working on superhero comics, like or something that involving action, they always make it stylish and dynamic, and that's what makes it like so incredibly good. It's like
real quick thought.
Yeah.
Something was an old series from the early 90s, if I remember correctly. Late 80s, early 90s, the Stan Lee show, where Stan Lee had different various people from comics on it. I don't remember. It was like a mini series. It wasn't like a full-on show. It was like a mini series. Only did a few episodes of it. And he had Todd McFarlane on. And
yeah.
And the thing Todd McFarlane always said, try to make, no matter how mundane the shot is, always try to make it look dynamic. And one of the things that he pointed out is the use of angles. And the picture you previously showed was a prime example because it had that it was, I guess you could say, the camera was facing upward instead of what a lot of people would do and kind of do like a side shot for that, or, you know what I mean? Like, angles mean everything in comics, and that is a prime example of that.
Yep.
Because you want your angles to give that dynamic touch.
Yeah, this one's with my friend Ron. Like, we did a GoFundMe to get this picture funded. One of our friends, Paul, he's doing his own comic, like Bump Back. He funded the entire thing for us. And this was like, I don't want to name prices because it's private, but this was a pretty pricey piece, and he just funded it, like basically day one. It was crazy.
See, that's awesome.
I know. It's like Paul is a very nice guy. Like I'm still shocked he invested that much money into this because he knows I ain't gonna run off with it or do something stupid with it.
Right. The thing is, like, I'll give you an example. Like Sashi, if anybody knows Sashi, her art is not. Her art is not cheap, but you know what? Her art is worth it. And if you got a great artist, and I mean every single art piece that you showed here, dude, I have an idea probably what you spent. Yeah, it's a lot.
I know. It's like. And again, I do have to show probably one last time. Hopefully, I do have another GoFundMe, but that money is gonna go to like I'm trying to get like the first 5 pages and a bonus promo page for Clayman issue 1 done, and also invest in the lettering. But like, yeah, it's like sorry.
I was gonna say if you need a letterer, I'll throw my offer out. I can help you. I do lettering. I did all this workman stuff. So if you need a letterer, I'm there for you, bro.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm just looking for my options. Maybe I'm trying to think. I think I'm down to 2 letterers, maybe It's like, but I'm trying to like, but yeah, like a lot of people are like, I think some people are like, yeah, just check my work. If you like my lettering, then I'll be down for it. But it's like I'm just checking.
Oh yeah, we all understand that.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But my whole thought with the whole idea of how you've kind of made sure to get plenty of art, if you will, to help support the project. It's one of the things that I've noticed amongst the more successful crowdfunds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When the successful crowdfunds have 50 million bits of art from different artists and so on and so forth, and each piece gives a good, if you will, feeling of the character. Like, I'm gonna bust myself out here. Like, what I made with my character, which is my actual icon.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually busting out the full picture of it. I actually even colored it myself. Thank you, Troy, for guiding me along the way the whole time. Because I don't know the first. Like, I'm still working on it. Like, I need to get better, but at the same time, I have hit the. I've been having art block lately. Everything I do just looks horrible, and I get mad, frustrated, and since I don't want to throw my tablet, I just stop. Just kind of.
You colored that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. Like, considering like how long have you been coloring? Like, you just started?
Yeah, that was the first thing I actually colored.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's really good actually. Yeah, it's the flat colors, but I mean, you did a good job.
Yeah, got to start somewhere.
Good.
Yeah.
But and that's the point I'm making. It's the problem with the picture, which is the whole point of I was actually showing it. I completely forgot because we got talking color. Let me bring that back up. Let me bring that back up.
Yeah, bring that back up.
All right.
Oh God, it's flashing. Oh, okay, it's fine now. Well, the top is.
It's still a little bit, but
it's weird.
It's because I have one of my displays is 4K. The other one of my displays is
1080p.
Yes.
There
we go. I fixed it. So
nice.
I've kind of noticed having two different resolution monitors of that caliber. They kind of conflict sometimes.
What are your connections? What are your connections? Are they HDMI or are they?
The second monitor, the 1080p, is DVI to HDMI, but the 4K is straight HDMI.
Okay, so you're going DVI to HDMI. That's your problem. Sorry.
Yeah.
that's the techie guy in me.
Oh yeah. But the biggest, and mind you, Troy did excellent art on this. It y'all for the best thing I can put it about Troy, he is one of those. The reason why people keep getting him banned off of Twitter is because they can't control his power. They can't handle it. He is too powerful for them. And Wanful proves that. Oh, it proves it. Anyway, but because I went with fairly something basic, something that I could learn to color and everything. I didn't have him do a background, so you don't really get much from the character from this, compared to yours, where you had different things are going on, and you could get a good feel for the character. Does that make sense? Contrast. What you presented is how it's done. What I got is how you start and get better.
Yeah. It's always fun to see character interpreted in different art styles, and as far as promotion goes, it's good. Just because if you have different artists do pinups for you, whatever, they bring their audience to your project, so that's more eyes on the project. So yeah, it's definitely a good idea to get those various pinups for.
But what we need is, go ahead and share my screen here. We need chibis. We need to have your characters. We need chibis.
we need more. As bad as it sounds, things that, I guess you could say, remind us why we love comics and things like that, unless things that make us go, and immediately into politics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chibis is a prime example of that. That's why I like how, let's see, if I remember right, Nerd Wonder. No, it's not Nerd Wonder. It's Pope Fire does a lot of chibi work and everything.
Like the chibi sport.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Now that was not Sumi, but here we got chibi spork.
Chibi Spork.
All right.
Now that was actually done by Pope Raven, not Pope Fire.
Oh, okay.
But Pope Fire did commission it for me. So yeah, like, you know, having art is important. You know, like if you look at like our folder where we've gotten artwork done, we have probably close to 200 pieces done.
Wow.
You know, Humble Marty even did she did an art piece for Sporkman in I think this is hers. If I remember correctly, I think I have hers here. I think this is.
Sugar Lightspeed is Spork.
Yeah, I believe this is hers. I believe this is Humble Marty's.
Nice.
So Pope Fire is no longer on Twitter. She is on Facebook. She's actually doing her project Raggedy with a couple other people and stuff like that. So she's doing pretty good. I talked to her every few weeks and stuff like that. So she's doing pretty good.
Yeah, she had to. Twitter. Yeah, because let's just say, and I don't blame her. Like what was happening to her was just sad, and we will should finally have Canales be coming in.
Oh, okay.
He expected it through Gmail, but I'm like, instead of Messenger, but I'm like, dude, I don't have your email. I mean, I probably should get Canales' email, come to think about it.
And then I also have this one right here. For instance, like this is one of the projects that I actually got done by somebody that I didn't have to pay a lot of money to. Give me a second here. But
and just this way people can know. Science within comics.
I always like. Yeah, I was gonna say I always like what Troy is like. I always kept thinking he wanted to keep secret, but you know, his second or third time he was on Twitter, he said, "Yeah, I wanted to keep it a secret," but now he's like, I don't care if they kick me off Twitter again. I don't give a shit.
I hope you.
Canales!
Hey,
a new fighter has joined this match.
Share my screen real quick.
Will do.
So, on my end, did you get it? Is it showing?
Is that Matt Weldon's art?
Yeah, Matt Weldon. Matt Weldon did a Sporkman alert.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, so you know, so that basically, you know, like if you get the artwork done, you know, that's the thing is, you know, it helps with your project, you know, and it helps get it out there. But anyhow, hey, welcome, Canales.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's been a while, guys.
Oh, hey, man, we got the Spanish swagger.
Yes. And what's funny is we were talking earlier, like near the start of the stream. It's like, yeah, had I thought about it, you know, more than a couple hours beforehand to get a hold of you, I would have had you come on too. And then you showed up and was like, hey, we need you in here.
It's serendipity, man. It's serendipity. You know that if you say my name out loud 3 times, I materialize.
I need to
some sex appeal.
I was gonna say you say his name 3 times and you get into a shitty Jordan Peele movie.
No. Speaking of Jordan Peele, like the funniest thing and stupidest thing I ever heard at the same time was fans going, Jordan Peele should do a live action Gargoyles, and he knows how to do it right and get all the right things of social justice.
I don't know why. Okay, like I'll admit, I was a Jordan Peele fanboy, but after like seeing like the movies that he made, even the first trailer I saw of was it Get Out, I was like, I don't see why he's now doing this now. This is a mistake. He's gained too much power.
Yeah, have you guys watched? By any chance, have you watched the Twilight Zone?
No, because I know. No, I'm not watching his Twilight Zone.
Nope.
Pretty woke.
You know. So, okay, Mr. Canales, I gotta ask: do we have Headshot in the next episode of the Abductables?
Of course, and if there wasn't one in the script, I would add it on post.
Awesome. I had to get that away because it's been like such a long time. We haven't done any chat. We haven't done any chats because normally you and I are on Wicked's chat on Saturday mornings.
I know.
So it's like
whatever happened to that? There are not so many streams anymore, are there?
It's something I will say off air. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But as always, though, you know, I gotta say this. I gotta ask, since now I got both of you in there. Is our favorite conspiracy theory in the book? Or conspiracy theorists, I mean, in the book?
No, that's book 3.
I was hoping to have recap duty again.
We definitely need to add him someday because Chimera just told me from Chimera Comics, he told me that he's planning on giving Elon Musk a cameo on the next volume.
Nice.
I totally want to draw Elon Musk because he has like, you know, no hate, Elon. I think you're a cool guy, but you had such a weird face.
But like, I have a weird face?
No, I mean Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Your face is cool. I've seen your face. It's okay.
No. I was about to be like, I mean, I know my nose is crooked, but that's because I have a bad habit of not blocking fucking shots to the nose. I'm bad about blocking my face. I can block everywhere else, but my face, I'm always just like a split second too slow.
Well, you've already had a cameo in at least one book, right, Bob?
Oh yeah, I'm actually. That's why I'm like, okay, I've been one. I've been one as, you know, the creepy, you know, crazy conspiracy theorist that everyone loves. I gotta get more under my belt now. Become like Golem. My precious.
Well, I mean, you know, not to you know, add a cheap plug, no pun intended, but we do have that get drawn into the book perk where you actually get probed by aliens in Abductables too. So if you did want to be in the book, I'm just saying that's one way to get in there.
Great. Like, so I would save that one for, like, that honor would go to Nacho Man Bulk Rogan, the wrestler. And we'd have to have, like, if that became a thing, I would have to do the audio for that, where it's like him on the, listen here, brother, if you stick that thing where the sun don't shine and I get loose, I'm going to be ripping all of you motherfuckers a new one. Because, you know, the wrestlers like that.
No, absolutely. I think we should totally use Bob Jones' voice for the next trailer of the Abductables. How's that?
I know.
Oh no.
Yeah, he did such a great job with the grayscale one. You need to hire his services yet again.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem, dude. It was one of those. You know, I enjoy doing them. The last one I did for Tilt actually was my first proper paid commission.
Nice.
Yes. So it was like that. That was an awesome experience. Like, yes.
Yeah, because I think he saw the one you did for Grayscale, and he liked it so much, like he came to you, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why I try to throw it out there. I will make promos. I'm actually one of the things I'm about to add to my channel, just because I've been playing a lot of mobile games lately at work, just out of pure boredom. Like, for instance, over the
Raid
weekend.
Shadow Legends.
No. So here's the idea. Y'all are gonna love this. All right.
Okay.
So the idea is I'm going to do the standard, like, if you will, start commercial for the bit where you see me sitting there playing the game, and of course I've been doing the screen capture part because I played a little bit and I got the equipment to do that, and then I'm gonna be like, hey folks, I'm some random YouTuber that you know how random streamer that you have no idea who I am, and I'm here to talk to you about whatever the game is, not a paid promotion. So, if you want to go out there and be the biggest, baddest boss in the area, you need to download this game like a player. And you just go through and do the whole spiel, and at different points blatantly point out that I'm just being a jackass. So when I do get to the promo code bit, so if you use the promo code, should have known it was a joke, you'll get a whole bunch of rares and half the money you'll ever need to play the game. And then...
But is this going to be is this based on a real game? Because if you do that, it might actually lead into a real promotion, and then the joke becomes reality.
I'm going to use actual mobile games to do this with.
Yeah, see? It might pay off.
Well, right. But I just thought about it as a way of being funny, just because I was getting annoyed by all the various mobile games commercials. Because it's always the same format. It's some person that you don't... You're looking at them... I've only seen one commercial that actually had a YouTuber that I knew who they were. And only reason why I knew who that YouTuber was because Markiplier, I think is the new name, had a controversy a few months ago. And was that's how I've heard of him. That was the first and only one that I knew who they were. And I was like, you know what? I'm really getting fucking tired of all these damn mobile games that have these YouTubers that we're expected to know who they are. Why don't they just use the promos that, in their actual commercials, that they have the YouTubers that people watch, you know what I mean, do? Not, for their videos. Use those, not, we're going to have you make a commercial, and nobody's going to know who you are unless they follow you.
Oh, you got a copy of Grayscale? Nice.
Yes,
I'm still waiting for mine.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, it's people. It's great to see people finally get in their books because with the postal delays, I underestimated just how bad the delays were going to be. Because I had a problem getting my proof copy way back, when we got the print. But once that was taken care of, things started to move pretty fast. But yeah, for some reason, people are finally getting their books, so I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I know with Demon Hunter Raven, I got the email from Nick. It took 23 days from when he shipped it out till I got it.
Well, what I don't understand is there's still some books that are sitting in the post office. They haven't even been scanned in. How is that even possible? And this was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. It's so I don't know. Is there a way for me to do I contact the post office? Could I tell them what is going on? Because it just doesn't make any sense to me. I understand delays, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe because Corona is the excuse for
everything. It's not. They're using the excuse, but
well, yeah, they use that as an excuse, but who knows what the real reason is?
We know what the real reasons are, but we're not going to go into them because new rules. And this is partly to keep me in check. The no politics rule. That's not partly. It's entirely to keep me in check. Let's just be honest. It's sad when you have to institute a new rule of no politics on your streams and everything because you're that fucking political.
Yeah, I just want to take this chance to congratulate the duly elected President Joe Biden for winning an election that wasn't stolen at all.
Totally wasn't.
So totes, man. So totes.
Right.
I'm completely cool with the state of things. I love my current existence.
Oh, so hey guys, so I want to throw out to you guys, there is a new digital platform, because I'm a big fan of people need to get their stuff out there and they need to get digitally, okay? So once you guys are done with your campaigns, there's a thing called Crypto Comics. It is actually, you can actually buy them and you can sell them back to you can sell them to other people. And the creators actually make money on that for every time it's sold. So, Yeah,
Did
so
that
like,
just start, or is that a thing that's been around? I haven't.
no, it
heard
just started. It's a new company that they're actually in beta right now. But so I got in and I got some invites. So I'm going to send them out. But definitely, I agree. People need to, get it out there and get your stuff out there. And I know Canales, you with all your stuff that you have. I know the only ones that are digital are the stuff by Wicked, correct? None of your other stuff is.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, but yeah, I really, to me, I think a lot of people need to start getting onto the digital platform. You're leaving money on the ground. People, my opinion.
Have you looked into? I know it's like the biggest like digital platform, but have you tried Comixology or anything like that?
So Comixology, I had applied there years ago, and got rejected.
Oh,
no reason why or anything like that for Comixology. But here's the thing: with Comixology, they're where everybody gets their pirating stuff from. So there's people that actually have the ability of ripping the apps and stuff like that, and then that's how they do all the pirating and stuff like that. So, but anyhow, there are other ones like Global Comics, which is an all-in-one built-in platform, like for Patreon and also for buying and selling comics too. So just as a way to fill out your guys' stuff for to get any backer where you can. You know what I mean? Because as indie creators, we can't leave any money on the ground.
Yeah, and I'm glad that there's more than one digital platform, because if I remember correctly, I think Comixology is owned by Amazon, so it's another.
They are. Yep, they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I told you guys, but I recently declared the Canalian Jihad based on the Butlerian Jihad from the Dune novels, and by which I declare war to thinking machines and social media. So I nuked my Facebook. This is why it's kind of difficult to reach me, and I also nuked my Amazon account. And I would nuke my Dura account if I could, but they won't let me because it's blocked. It's locked, and you can read access. Yeah, fuck those guys. Fuck big tech. I mean, no, sorry. I mean, big tech is really great, but because I know they're listening. But if I didn't think that, I would have totally nuked my social media accounts. I do not declare the Canalian Jihad.
I can't blame you either, because it's the only thing keeping me online right now is just promotion, because it's I'm so tempted to just go full like hermit and just completely shut myself off from society. But I mean,
Well, this is how I kind of look at it. Like with social media, I do believe it something my grandfather said many years ago. This is, mind you, this has been told to me by several members of the family, because my grandfather died in 1969. But I remember, because my grandfather, if I remember right, was born like 1900. All right, like literally, like I think it's born in like 1905, something like that. And so he was there for early TVs, and one of the things he told my grandmother, he was like, that stood by it for the majority of his life, is that TV would be an excellent invention depending on how it's used. But unfortunately, it would be abused, misused, and would just lead to more pain and hardship. That is social media. Back the way it was when like social media first became a thing and we were all just on there sharing memes. Like I remember when you couldn't share pictures on Facebook, like to reply to things. Like I remember when that was a new thing. And what's funny is this is showing my age here. Back when back during the 4chan
we already said
age,
Comixology is owned by Amazon. Like we said that a while ago.
But let me put it to you like this: that was back when 4chan, before 4chan became overrun by all the worst people, and everyone there was just making jokes, and literally like it was fun. Yeah, that's when social media was at that point, and people would go on to like 4chan, get memes, and then share them on Facebook for their normie friends. I may or may not be one of those guys. Just saying. But that to me is what made social media great. But social media now, and once again, I am guilty of it myself. I am not going to sit here and say that I do not become overly political on Facebook, and Twitter. You know what I mean? It's today was.
It's hard not to these days, but yeah, I think now that the election fervor is over, it's probably going to be a little easier to kind of tune that stuff out. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, well, it was always easy for me to tune out because, believe it or not, politics aren't really that important in my life. But some people are fucking addicted to it.
This guy right here. This guy right here.
And I have no problem, I have no problem forgetting about who's president, but these people won't leave me alone. I know they will come after me at some point.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta enjoy our time before we get thrown in the gulag,
Oh yeah. Hey, just remember, follow the plan.
They're gonna be saying that
I must
50 years from now too.
I lost the memo, man.
Right.
As you're lined up against the wall, follow the plan. Just trust in the plan.
Yep, the Stone Toss comic. That shit was hilarious. I was like, it's literally just follow the plan, dude. And then it zoomed the next panel. There's two guys, right? The next panel is they're on their knees. Guy's just been shot in the back of the head, and going to the guy that's being told just follow the plan. I was like,
I wish I could see how the Q people are reacting to all this, but they've been banned everywhere, so we can't really see their reactions. So who knows? But
I can tell you firsthand. I can tell you firsthand. There's a Spanish chapter of Q.
Oh no!
I used to follow them for like hopium. It was pure hopium because I only believed like half of what they were saying, and they're still going. They're still going. No. This is all part of the plan. Yeah. This is what's supposed to happen.
A lot of them missed the gap.
But here's what makes it funnier. Here's what makes it funnier. Now apparently, the Q guys are saying, "Oh no, Biden was always a part of Q. Biden is the plan."
That's it. They're always moving the goalposts, so they can never be wrong because it's always. And the sad thing about Q is they're not. I don't know everything that they believe in, but I'm sure they're right. Just like we were talking about how Alex Jones has been proven right by a lot of things. I'm sure Q is not. I'm sure they're on to some things. It's just they're so unreasonable when it comes to trusting the plan and all that stuff. It makes them look bad, but
it really does. But Michael, you were saying you needed to head out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call it a day. Got to get ready for work, unfortunately. But
Same. But tell people where they can find you, sir.
Yes. So speaking of evil corporations, you can follow me on Twitter at Cauldron Comics.
But do you got a Minds account too? I'm just saying. If you got
yes, but I'm. Speaking of cutting out technology, I do have a Minds account, but unfortunately, because I'm embarrassed to say this, I have an iPhone. They actually banned comments. You can't comment.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why would they do that?"
So,
sorry.
Canals cut out Amazon. I think I'm gonna have to cut out Apple at least because that's some BS right there.
So I actually went to Samsung myself. Yes, I don't like Google, but the nice thing I like, you can sideload apps from the Gab and everything directly. So
best line ever.
I was gonna say is this gonna be another Face-Off movie? I can't wait for Nicolas Cage to play Biden.
It's a deep fake. That's all it is.
Right.
Maybe the only way of making Biden more cringy.
Listen here, Fat. Yeah. I'm not crazy. I don't have early signs of being a loony. I'm just an extremely eccentric billionaire that roams the streets at night dressed like a giant bat.
Oh man!
Well, listen here. I didn't hire you to tell me and correct me things. I hired you to bring me my poodle. Wait, what?
I look forward to the rule of President Harris in 6 months or however long it's going to be. So, I'm with her.
Yeah.
And,
I'm giving it 90 days.
Wow, y'all are giving it way. Am I the only person that said like a month and a half? Like I'm really like, I know we're talking about politics in a way, but we're really roasting everybody here.
I know we can't help ourselves.
I'm like, I for some reason I feel like I can roast anybody when I'm like really, really sick or not under the influence, but because I just took a lot of medicine to fight my common cold. But it's just funny.
Hey, no, I'm all for making jokes at the expense of, politics for one simple reason, man. We all take that shit way too seriously. Even I was the guiltiest person here. All right. Like I said, I've been all day with it with like, but not my president. We went through 4 years. Yes. Let us make fun of this, please. I need to laugh.
I think maybe your mistake. Yeah, sorry. No, I was just going to say that maybe our mistake was to like engage in them in their own battlefield. Like they went completely bonkers with politics and the SJWs, and we stooped down to their level. And we went as insane as they are. I know I'm guilty of this because the last time I got banned from Facebook was because I told a company that was making face masks for children that they should be beaten to death. And that's
oh my god! Whoa! Oh god!
I mean, I recant. Yeah,
in
Minecraft. I recant. I now see the error of my ways. Please do not send me to a technological gulag or big tech overlords. But
a tech gulag.
That's the thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, social media makes you. I mean, social media makes you weird.
No, that's fine. Fine, go on.
I was just saying that Zach said it once. Social media makes you weird. It makes normal people weird. It makes crazy people crazier.
Ironically, we were all happier like in the early days of the internet when we were allowed to just like call each other slurs and like just be complete maniacs. But once they started like clamping down on speech and like censoring forums and stuff, that's when everything went wrong. So
to quote, like. I really do. If you haven't listened to Tom McDonald, you need to. He's a great rapper. But one of the lines he has in his song "People So Stupid" is he's talking about. He's like, we were all raised watching South Park. How are we offended?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is ironic. Like the kids who grew up in the '90s are like when culture was so edgy, and now they're like the most sensitive people on earth.
Butthurt. I say butthurt people in the world, man. Because they can't just. I think part of the problem is they have not been. There's a lot of people in that time period, the millennials and stuff like that. They can't separate fact from fiction because their world has always been pretty much gaming and computers. I lived in the generation where that was not the case. We went outside, and Mom said, "If you were not inside by that time, that light came." You know what I mean? We weren't in front of TV all the time and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Even though we were latchkey kids and stuff like that for the most part, I think that's the difference. I think the younger generation, I think those born in the 90s and early 2000s, they don't know what we went through in the 80s and early 90s as kids.
It's where the term Zennial comes from, because from roughly 1980 to basically technically we're millennials because the switch over in 1980 from Gen X.
Yeah, that's you, bro. I'm Gen X all the way.
Well, still, but point being,
who are people who are born in like the early 80s? Are they millennials?
Yeah, like 80. Yeah, like 19. Some depending on who you talk to, some will say like 1984 to some will go early to 80. So roughly, because a lot of people depends on when they start Gen X, because some Gen X starts, like 1965 to like 1969. You know what I mean? So generally, they say 10 to 15 years. So the fact that a lot of them cannot differentiate that there are things in real life. Unlike, I always blame CGI for the start of the madness. When you have computers that can literally replace realistic things, that's when things start going way off.
I miss like the worst thing I hate. I think like when I was a kid, even the time I started to hate CGI was like, God, there was like I was like about even then I was like 9 or 10 years old. I was watching American Werewolf in London. I was like, oh my God, I love this. This is the best thing I've ever seen. And then I watched like American Werewolf in Paris, and I'm like, what the hell kind of disgusting, putrid werewolves are these?
Yeah.
These are disgusting. They don't know how to brush a toilet.
Just because I love it. Just because I love the comment. Real quick, just because I love the comment.
Yeah, we traded a mean one. Reen like Reen.
It's funny. Here's the thing is, the movie that actually did very well with CG and transformation was Underworld. But you think about it, Jurassic Park had CG, but it was very limited to the dinosaurs.
Same thing at Independence Day.
Yeah. Whereas most of actually in Independence Day, the only thing that was CG was all the airplanes and them battling the main ship. Other than that, it was all done with props and planes and stuff like that. I think when we started moving stuff because I don't know if you guys know how that transformation scene where American Werewolf in London was done. It was actually filmed backwards.
Yeah, so I think like what was it? Yeah, they basically took the wolf and then they converted it into the man, like like I said, in reverse. Because I think like doing it, I believe, I could be wrong. I believe they said it was really, really hard for them to do it forward because all that other stuff. Because like I remember like even the freaking Being Human BBC show, they went the American Werewolf in London routine and they used like robots and they used props and all that. Like the actor went into the bodysuit and he said like he could do it, but it was tough because he sweated a lot. Also, the same thing with the Wolfman remake. It was like you got to remember that you're basically in a giant fursuit inside that, and you sweat. You either got the hot sweats or the cold sweats. Like it's the same deal with superhero costumes too.
Yeah.
Because I know Stephen Amell from Arrow, he said like it got really hot and then it got really cold with his costumes.
Well, you got to remember when Michael Keaton did Batman for the first time, he could not move his
he could not move his neck. Yep, he could not move his neck because like it was positioned like that. Not even like even Christian Bale said he couldn't move his neck like when he was doing Batman Begins and like Dark Knight.
He had a little bit more movement than what Michael Keaton did, but it was still not forgiving whatsoever.
Yeah, but then once they moved to the advanced kind of suit, then he can move his neck.
Yep.
Well, I think even how they did the Batfleck suit is they gave him a little bit more. What they did is they loosened the neck a little bit to where he could turn his head, and only the neck itself is like. Basically, it's the cowl's held on by the neck, so he can remove the cowl independently and keep the cape on. Compared to the previous costumes where the cape and the cowl were connected together. So because the way they always wanted to have that going the split down the middle. You know what I mean? Because if you see like Michael Keaton's Batman costume, let me bust out the book in the background, and
that's fine.
Like, because this is the actual book from the '89 Batman movie. Oh no! And parts of the background goes flying and falling. I have to find that tack here. Oh, there it is. Yay! I'm not gonna get stepped on attack. And camera.
I think part of the issue that we're seeing is, the other problem is people like. I blame also the Harry Potter thing too on a lot of stuff. People got so involved with Harry Potter, like they treated it like real life. It's like,
This is, and when I say this is the original book that they released in, for the movie in the '80s. I'm trying to be careful with it because this is in fairly good. Actually, I think it's in near mint condition.
89.
Yep. Trying to find the.
I remember when that, I was so, I hadn't even heard of The Dark Knight Returns when I was a kid, when Batman 89 came out. But I had been reading, a lot of people don't remember that they released books for the Batman series. And I would read all the books that were for that. And then my youth pastor gave me The Dark Knight.
Right.
Guys, I gotta run. It's really late here. It's 4:15.
Not a problem, Canales. It's always good to have you on.
Hey, we're gonna Canales. We're gonna have to do a night. We'll arrange it with Bob. We'll arrange it with you. We'll have to arrange a night to get you on, get some updates and stuff like that. So,
sure, awesome.
All right.
Have a great stream, guys. Hope to see you soon.
All right, man.
Definitely, Canales. I'll get a hold of you about a night that we can get together, all right?
Awesome. Yeah. It'll be my pleasure.
Word. Later, Canales.
Later.
Right here. Good picture. This, I want to see the book. Okay. Right here, you can see how the upper shoulders of the cape and cowl were all one solid piece.
Yep. Man, I love that movie. There's just everything about that movie I love.
No, the movie has a lot of flaws. To be fair, the movie has a lot of flaws.
Yes, it does. I can still to this day. Do you guys remember on the end of the movie where Batman and Kim Basinger's character Vicky Vale are falling down, and part of the screen actually cuts off, and she starts she's screaming. It cuts to him firing the gun, but meanwhile she's not screaming, and then all of a sudden she starts screaming again.
Well, yeah, but these mistakes are made, and even with the best way I can put it is even with all the my only real complaint about that movie is the way they did. I think Jack Nicholson was a great choice for Joker. I just hate how they did his face. To me, that is the same. That is no different than how they did Jared Leto's Joker.
I didn't have any issues with the way the Joker looked. It was the 80s.
Come on, the Joker's face has always been pliable. It's always been, where you could see what. You could see his expression. His face wasn't stuck in a smile, so that's always bothered me.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I could kind of see that, yeah, because at least in Dark Knight, they explain why his face looks like that, because it's scarred. His father literally carved the that thing over his face, But yeah, with
he gave 60 different reasons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. It's they do make it clear. Well, yeah, Nolan made it clear that basically the Joker is a two-faced liar who's constantly making up his stories about where his scars. He literally made up 3 different stories that we know about how his scars happen, with his wife, with his dad, with another guy.
Yeah, I think his wife and his dad were the only 2 he gave, but the whole point stands that they did have him give multiple explanations as to why he had the scars. And even then, I really didn't like that. You know what I mean? But it was still, in my eyes, at least it was better than how they did Jack Nicholson being stuck in a half-ass smile-looking face, where with him, he had scars, but his face, he could still emote properly. The scars didn't take away his ability to emote with his mouth the way they did Jack Nicholson.
I assume they did that because the whole I don't know. I guess they wanted to treat when him getting doused in chemicals, they wanted to treat him more like he was a mutant or something. He's not really a mutant, I would say. He just kind of went insane, just again the whole super insanity thing.
Hey guys, I got to show you this real quick.
Oh, okay.
I refuse. Yep.
It's like I'm kind of, what is it? I was what did I say before? I was like to my friends over this. I was like, look, if you guys want to watch the Snyder Cut movie, that's your thing. I don't care about it. Just like once again, I'd be like, I'm just gonna do my comics. You watch Snyder. If you enjoy it, that's on you. I watched Justice League. It was boring. I don't. This one's probably gonna be, my honest opinion, probably boring for about 4 hours. It's like, what do they try to do? A Lord of the Rings superhero film?
Well,
like that's how long it's trying to be.
Well, the reason why what I think happened is he was doing the smart thing. He was doing similar to what they did with Lord of the Rings, where it was continuous shooting. They did all 3 movies pretty much all at once. Like, it was, okay, we're done with the first movie. It's off to editing. We're starting the filming of the second movie, because they knew what they had and they knew it was going to be a hit. It was they and that confidence is partly what helped. But the big issue with the Whedon cut of Justice League, and this is something that I honestly like. I watched a video essay actually today. I've been watching a lot of video essays. Don't ask.
Well, that's fine.
But about why Avengers worked but why Justice League didn't, even though it's pretty much accepted that Joss Whedon, that's not what Zack Snyder wanted to do with Justice League. There's not really. There's like maybe a handful of scenes that he actually did that were the Snyder's cuts still in the movie, but the whole movie pretty much just reeks of a Whedon film. And the point that was made is with the way they did Avengers. Okay, let's take the scene that really, or I should say, scenes that really defined the Avengers that everyone agrees on. It was if you will, the first time they tried to really stop the Loki. They thought they had won. They had him on the helicarrier, and then everyone quickly realized he gave up too easily and something was going on. And then you had the fight in Dr. Banner's lab. Because, this is Marvel. Of course they have a lab specifically set up for Dr. Banner should they need him. And which is a nice little touch, honestly, I did like about that movie. Because you got to like the look on David Ruffalo's face when they're like, oh yeah, show him to his lab. That kind of half, I don't need the camera for that. That like half turn, like, what the fuck? I have a lab here? What were you expecting me to have to be here at some point?
It's like, I love, that was like my favorite kind of, like reaction to him. My other reaction was like when what was it? When he went back on Earth in Infinity War and then he saw Tony's new suit. And then like, if you see in the background, you see Mark Ruffalo looking at it, be like, what the fuck? How did you get so strong with that new suit? Is like, dude, you've been gone for a while. I got nanomachines, son.
Yeah, lots happened. But that's the whole fight and whatnot on the helicarrier led to a low point where their confidence is shaken. They just got their ass kicked on their own turf. They let their guard down, thinking they had won, even though they were talking about how they didn't feel like they had won. And it led to that big scene where they're all standing back to back and everyone finally got that first shot of a live action Avengers, like what we wanted. All right. We're not going to count the TV movies. They don't really count.
We're just counting the movies like, here.
Yeah. Now go to Justice League. Both movies follow basically the same beat. After they've rescued the hostages and they had, beaten, there's not so much beaten Steppenwolf, but repelled them back and everything, in the sewers and whatnot. Then they go to the Batcave. They have their whole conversation about reviving Superman, and then, they do it after Batman and Wonder Woman have that little fight, and of course if you will, Flash makes the pop culture references and everything. But look how the two scenes are done. And that scene in Avengers is very dynamic. The camera motion's fluid. It's taking advantage of what the situation is going, and is really showing how these people don't really mesh, right?
Yeah, it's like they it's very, very good because like it's not just like, well, it's not taking the fact, of course, the Mind Stone was kind of in flaring because they were arguing with each other, but
Yep.
like I really like how given credit where credit is due, Whedon was able to make a nice kind of convolting dialogue about issues amongst the already kind of fresh start team between Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hulk, Thor. Everybody was arguing with each other, honest. And again, I'm usually not a fan of superheroes arguing with each other. Well, I will take arguments over them physically fighting each other because I don't know, I just don't like that personally. But them I can understand what they're doing,
Yeah, but even the physical fight that they kind of had them get into in the forest with their...
Oh, yeah. The forest, and then Hulk versus Thor and the helicarrier, that one.
Like, all right, now... But after that happened, right during the fight, Captain America and Steve Rogers are about to go to blows, and Steve, put on the suit. Let's go a few rounds. We all knew, even fully, suited up and everything, who would win that fight, hands down.
Yeah.
And, but you see the whole fight, and then they have to... They've had their confidence shaken, Coulson got killed, so on and so forth, and they have to get over that hump and realize that they have to work together. And then it's not just that they have to, that they can. And they set so much up in that movie that continue to play out in other movies, like the relationship between Tony and, Steve. Yeah, they were friends, but they always butted heads because they had similar ideals, but opposing ideas of how to implement the ideas.
Yeah.
All right. Now, then they finally come together. You get that, like I said, that payoff of the back-to-back scene. With the Justice League, you really didn't get that. They had their first outing actually went pretty well. They were arguing. The argument was kind of stupid. It was
real no good build up, no good dialogue to kind of say the arguments were worth it, all that other stuff.
It was they almost had a good argument pointed out with Wonder Woman saying when you die, Wonder Woman and Aquaman, Wonder Woman saying it from being the fact she's a god, saying no, you can't play God. I'm a god and I don't like playing God type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And then Aquaman pointing out when you die and come back, you lose something. Things like that. Philosophical arguments that they completely abandoned 5 minutes later. Because Cyborg says, yeah, it's logical. I did the math while you were busy being an asshole because, the whole Steve Trevor bit, the super push and everything. They do that. They get their ass kicked by Steppenwolf. He gets the cube and this, that, and the other. Then they have to finally come together, and Superman has his whole bit where he's evil, but then he's not 5 minutes later, and everything just... It all played like a Whedon film, but played like Whedon trying to... honestly, dude, I think Whedon was just trying to do this so he could get his Batwoman movie, or Batgirl movie.
Yeah, and he didn't, and his kind of career fell down after that, in my opinion. But the thing that kind of pissed me off is that I felt a part of me too felt like in Justice League we could have had those Superman Batman moments, but we never really got that. As in, I was we I don't know, Snyder tried to do that with the Superman Batman movie, but it was really, I didn't like it at
Did
all.
you see the theatrical cut or the director's cut? The ultimate cut?
I think I saw the ultimate cut.
Because the ultimate cut is an amazing movie, and there's actually there's been several videos I've watched on it that went into why the ultimate cut is a really good movie. I like the ultimate cut. I think the theatrical cut is pure trash, just like fucking the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. The theatrical cut is garbage, but the director's cut is amazing.
The director's cut is great. Yeah,
I still have not watched the director's cut of Daredevil.
You have to watch, dude. You have to watch a director's cut. It's so good.
Like, okay, the best way
I think a lot of people would have always said it. It's I think partly the blame the studios. I have got to blame the studios. They've stuck their nose, because they want to try to get the amount of people into the seats. But when you're dealing with a movie that's 3.5 hours, how do you fit the amount of people into that seat? Oh well, we got to cut it down to 2.5 movies. I really wish they would just let directors film the movie the way they should film the movie, and then and then let it come out. I think it would have done better if they would have had the Ultimate Edition released. I think it would have got better reviews, in my opinion, to the movie theaters than what that's what was like for Neostar's comment. Is like back when I was like kind of like that I would defend Marvel's films. I was like, I was like, oh, Justice League sucked, and then they got Civil War, or like kind of around that. I was like, Marvel's kicking DC's ass. It's like they're taking their time with their movies, but like with again, this was back then, and like Justice League, I'm like, they rushed the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm. In a lot of ways, I agree. It's one of the points that I've made since we started doing streams and everything, and Chuck can attest to this. One of the points I've made is they could have started their cinematic universe with Green Lantern had they just stepped back. See, they jumped straight to Parallax, which is the worst mistake they ever made. So since you don't know, let me explain to you how the Green Lantern movie should have gone. First movie should have been Manhunters. Should have been him as a rookie Green Lantern. He's learning how to do it. The whole movie needed to take place off Earth.
Yeah, off Earth. Definitely should have been an off Earth thing. They should have explore. Well, some of the Green Lantern animated movies. What was that one? The animated one. I think First Flight. Yeah, First Flight was really was something. I'm like, it should have been a lot like First Flight, where it's like, he's only getting off Earth. He's only on Earth for a little bit, but then he's straight off, and then we don't see Earth for the rest of the entire film. He's out the galaxy. He's exploring the worlds. He's seeing all these aliens. He's experimenting, testing his powers. Like, that's the kind of Green Lantern movie I want, And
then we had the ending where he actually gets the ending of that movie should have been where Mark Strong gets the actual Parallax energy, and that's when he decides to go after Earth with Parallax and stuff like that. That's how it should have ended, in my opinion.
And a second movie should have been standard yellow-ringed Sinestro.
Yep.
And the third movie should have been Parallax. And the way the third movie, and I stand by this and I will die on this hill, the way the third movie should have ended is Hal Jordan being overtaken by Parallax, and it should have ended with
John Stewart getting the ring.
I say Kyle Reiner, because the second and third movie. Let me finish. Second and third movie.
Sorry.
You introduce Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner. The reason why you do Kyle Reiner is because if you remember right, Kyle Reiner, Guy Gardner and Jon Stewart kind of took Kyle Reiner under their wing and really helped him become a good Green Lantern, and he felt cheated, same as Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle felt cheated, because he was the one who got what was supposed to be Hal's ring, because remember he was about to get the new Green Lantern ring that Kyle Reiner got. And and the reason why I want Kyle Reiner to be the replacement, because Kyle Reiner was an artist and he was the most powerful Green Lantern because of it.
That was like really like, I remember like watching the Superman animated series, and I was surprised they didn't use Jordan. They used Kyle as the Green Lantern in that show, But I was like, that was like very interesting that they was like, we're not gonna do Hal, for one of his animated ones.
Well, because at that point, Hal had already been dead as Parallax.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I think like Kyle was the new Hal for a time.
Yes, yeah. And that's why they did. That's why also in Justice League, the Justice League series, it was Jon Stewart and not Hal Jordan, because as a founding member.
Yep, and they did not just go, oh, well, it's, Jon Stewart now, we completely ignored Kyle Reiner. No, they actually referenced that Kyle Reiner is still Green Lantern, and he's actually stationed on Oa.
Yeah. And I think, to me, like, I really think, like, whoever they put in charge, I think a lot of it comes back to, and I know we talked about this before, a lot of it came back to having Nolan as, like, the executive producer, as everything. Like, Nolan, because, I mean, Nolan did a great job with Batman. I'll never take that away from him. I think I
will disagree with you on that, but
I think he gave us a good Batman, but it was not the Batman we know. He was not the detective and stuff like that. He was just the millionaire Bruce Wayne.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Like, I hate to say, I know you guys disagree. It's like, I'm scared to know if they'll finally get the detective side right with the Robert Pattinson Batman.
Yeah. You know what?
I think they are. I think they are.
I'll say like this. I will give Robert a chance. I know people already hate it, but look, I'm not gonna lie. I did like the little fight he did with the little goon. Beat the shit out of him with that. But like, yeah, we all know that. Like, this is a bit more like, again, detective. It feels detective oriented.
Well, it's Batman year one. You know what I mean? It is.
Yeah, it's like year 1, year 2 Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and I do give DC credit with this. It's an Elseworlds movie, technically.
Yeah, exactly. That too. So, like, technically, worst comes to worst, it's like in a different. I don't think it's a main universe Batman. It's like completely different universe Batman. So he could do his own stuff without having to worry about possibly Superman or another character from the DC universe coming to interrupt him.
Honestly, to me, and that's actually where I come back to what they should have done was they should have done. When they redid the universe, they should have done a Green Lantern movie, do the Man of Steel, then do a Batman film. Then your next movie after that would be BVS versus Batman. You know what I mean? Because you've already then established, You've already established Man of Steel, and you've already established Ben Affleck as, the Thing, and building.
And they could have had Man of Steel and the Batman movie going on at the same time. They could have had the Batman movie end with him looking across the bay and seeing the destruction of Metropolis, and then Batman v Superman picks up at that moment, and then they go to 18 months later. Like that, that would have been a great way to do it.
I really wish, like, if they did that Man of Steel 2 movie, I really would have liked to see.
It's happening. They've
happening.
Oh, really? Because I was going to say, are they going to make Metallo the main villain?
We don't know yet. They didn't announce the villain, but they definitely they announced that because he signed on for 2 more Superman movies, and then he signed on for like 2 more DC films, but they didn't say like exactly what was kind of going on.
Yeah,
but they
Because, like, what was it? Because I'm just saying, it's like Metallo would have been a perfect Man of Steel 2 villain.
Oh yeah, he would be.
Third villain. Here's my opinion. Third villain, Brainiac.
Oh yeah, definitely Brainiac. Yeah, definitely.
Why have we not gotten Batman? Superman has all these other great villains: Brainiac, Metallo, Solomon Grundy, Parasite.
Wait! I was gonna say you're talking about Superman, right? Not Batman, because you just said Batman and it's like Solomon Grundy. I'm like, Solomon Grundy's a Batman villain.
No, he's a Superman villain too.
Oh yeah, true, because he is super strong and stuff like that.
So not just that. Solomon Grundy's entire thing is he's a zombie. He's a voodoo zombie. And
because they always keep saying that, like, because his body, technically speaking, is of magic supernatural property, he can physically hurt Superman. So
Yep.
And that's something I really hope that they bring in the movies. Is that Superman is. They have to show Superman weak to magic, and
electric, because he's also weak to electric too.
Well, to a minor extent, he can take a lot of electricity. It's just I mean, it's like anybody would shock. Anybody would shock him.
Why haven't we got a villain in Live Wire?
But they got to give her someone who can do Lauren Petty's voice or style of speaking, if nothing else.
Oh yeah,
because that's what made Live Wire such a great character.
Could you imagine her being a shock jock in a movie right now? Like, she could be almost like an Alex Jones conspiracy theorist, shock jock, and stuff like that. I think she would be. If they got someone who was like Laura Petty in the movie, I would do maybe her. In the second movie, he's fighting Metallo, and she's being the face of Metropolis, because she's the shock jock. You know what I mean?
And they gotta recreate the scene from the animated series where she's sitting there doing her bit talking to Clark Kent, and she throws her dart at the dartboard, and it's a picture of Superman on it.
True. It's not a weakness. It's more like a vulnerability. It's like that. That's usually a fact. Because people keep saying it's it's as bad as Kryptonite. It's not as bad as Kryptonite, but it's not a super debuff. It's just a normal debuff. I mean, and that's the same thing too. People keep saying with him and DC's Captain Marvel that they think that, and that's the thing too that I would make clear too about what Captain Marvel is that people keep thinking he's all magic. He's not all magic. His power is celestial in origin because his powers.
That's a good way. He's technically a god.
Yeah,
not big G, little G, and it's because the fact that what a lot of people fail to actually pay attention to, if he says Shazam and never goes back, he's effectively immortal.
Yeah,
just like Black Adam. Yeah, just like with Black Adam. Yep. And the perfect way I would say how his magic kind of works. And of course he does use magic, but it's with the Justice League Unlimited fight is he can physically hurt Superman, all the other stuff. But the magic he has to use Shazam and then get the spell right and then let it hit Superman. And then that's when it hurts him. So and they perfectly wrote that, to explain that that's the magic. Everything else about him, no, it's not. That's celestial in origin of his power.
Honestly, I'll be honest. The thing is, if he was still alive, I would have tapped him as a writer. Dwayne McDuffie, because Dwayne McDuffie and Paul Dini. Oh, God.
I miss him so much, man.
Those two guys wrote most of the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited stuff. So
it was genius,
And since we are talking about, may I once again gush about how good of a fucking movie Shazam was?
It was. It was a good movie.
Yeah. And the only two things I wish, and I know it's copyright and all that, but I wish two things. They did keep the Captain Marvel name, and I do wish his outfit was a little less metallic, modernized, and more with the cloth. I always like the cloth because, again, we don't really need to go with that armor modern look. He's a god. He doesn't need armor. No. Just look at Black Adam. The cloth is fine. God cloth is fine. Because they can take a bullet. They can take a punch. Well, okay. The difference between celestial power and divine power, I think, is celestial is God. I think divine power is cosmic power. I think.
Okay. Here's the best way to put it. Celestial is basically the
Wonder Woman.
Yes, I'm going to go, Woman. But I'm going to go a bit into actual every day when I do my morning prayers. I want to make sure to get this line right. One part of the prayers. I'm Catholic, so is the Psalms 95. I think it's about the 3.
Yeah.
For the Lord is the great God, the King who surpasses all the other gods. That's the difference. God with a little g, God with big G. Celestial is little g, divine big G.
Big G. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because in the divine realm, the only people that can use divine power is literally Yahweh. All the other gods, for instance, Zeus and all them, they are empowered with celestial power.
Yeah. So yes, well, it's like they said, you got the low tier gods and you got the high tier gods. Like that's how
correct.
It kind of works.
Yeah, in the DC universe, that's how it's listed. Because a lot of your so-called divine superheroes that that are magic based, technically they have celestial powers. They are Zatanna, Wonder Woman. They're all using some sort of celestial power.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like that reminds me with DC, it does Lucifer use divine power? Because I know he's technically the son of God, but is he divine power or no? He's technically celestial power because he's using power from his father.
Okay, so if you're going off now, are you going off which version of Lucifer? Are you going off the DC version or the?
Because I know oh, that's a good question. Probably the Vertigo one.
Okay, so if you're going off the Vertigo one, it's celestial. If you're going off the DC version, because Lucifer technically, because there are, I don't know if you ever read Convergence or not. They actually have the different realms and stuff like that. Yeah, basically Yahweh and all the divine angels, Michael and all of them, they exist near the source wall. And they're actually considered the highest realm of gods in the DC universe, but there's something beyond them that's locked by the source wall, which is the source of all creation, basically, which
would be God Yahweh.
No, it's beyond that in DC.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking is beyond
beyond Yahweh.
Oh,
so DC actually, so a lot of people get confused between the two. Keep in mind, for instance, the Spectre, he is God's vengeance on Earth. Okay, and
so he would probably use celestial power.
He does. Celestial power really is almost a offshoot of divine power. Yes.
Yeah.
So they're almost kind of the same, but not the same. I hope it makes sense. So all
because Spectre's powers are kind of different compared to the other gods in DC.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really DC's universe is so convoluted because then when you throw the new gods in there, in there along with New Genesis and Apocalypse
and Dark Side, I was even gonna say, does Dark Side use celestial or divine power by technicality? Oh my god! Yeah, oh my god!
I wouldn't call it divine. Darkseid is weird. So Darkseid came to be because of this very unique explosion that gave him. I forgot to get rid of that, but that gave him, if you will, it's not gave him. It blasted him into a pocket dimension where he exists, but at the same time blasted him into every reality that he can perceive at the same time. He knows what other. Go ahead.
Yeah, which is why he goes after the anti-life equation and stuff like that. So the Monitor. That's why the Monitor is actually set up to battle against Darkseid. That was the whole purpose of the Monitor, was to monitor everything. Yeah.
The fine irony: Darkseid's not trying to wipe out the universe because he wants to wipe out the universe. Darkseid's trying to wipe out the universe because he's trying to kill himself.
Yeah, it's a lot like what people don't realize. It's a lot like Thanos because
Thanos with death because he wants to fall in love with death. Wait, I can't remember if it's literally like death or just no, it's I want to die.
Thanos
he wants to die. Yeah, Thanos is both. For Darkseid is he wants to die because the fact of he wants to. How can I say this? Because he's been shoved into every reality because of the source wall. A lot of his stuff is all tied into. But keep in mind, this is all created by Jack Kirby.
King Kirby.
Yeah. So and
J. King Kirby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And Jack Kirby also created Thanos too. On top of it, he had a hand in on Thanos' creation too. So, but yeah, Kirby's writing. You have to go back to the original New Gods series to get a lot on Darkseid and how he was created and stuff like that. He would be the equivalent. He would be the equivalent of the Eternals in the DC, the Marvel universe.
So basically, remember it's a New Genesis and Apocalypse. All right, they were once one planet.
Yep.
They were once one species. The accident that made Darkseid and did everything to him and everything split the two planets up, split the species up, and created the New Gods. So the reason why you can't kill Thanos, or not Thanos, but the reason why you can't kill Darkseid, is because technically, if you kill him, if you destroy him, you undo all reality.
And I think that I could be wrong. I think some character actually did that and it ended up causing the universe to go out of whack.
That was the first thing for Crisis on Infinite Earth.
It was they killed Darkseid and they ended up fucking over the universe.
Mm-hmm.
It's it reminds me of that too, because I was watching Death Battle and it was the Thanos versus Darkseid. I'm like, if Thanos managed to do that with Darkseid, it would have been technically a tie because he would have died alongside the entire multiverse, basically. If he somehow the snap worked on him for some reason, which technically wouldn't, but that's just a what if,
And that Death Battle was a good one, though. I mean,
it was entertaining. At least I was entertained by it. I love the music, the voice acting, the action. Everyone's power was at least decent research wise, all that stuff.
Already on it.
Oh yeah. Oh god, okay. What is that?
That is the DC.
The map of the multiverse. Oh my god. I was gonna say real quick. I have a future comic called what was it? Dimensional Warriors. I'm not doing a multiverse thing. It's gonna be in an alternate universe. But God, if I do something like this, you guys are gonna be wowed. Hopefully, oh God, someone. Imagine. Wait, God, I'm just confused. I'm pretty sure Kirby wrote all this, right?
It's some of Kirby's, but the rest is done by Grant Morris and other writers and stuff like that. So if you take a look,
it was just added on over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yep. So basically if you look at the the 5 circles on the outer ring, okay, that's where each of the the New Gods had Yahweh and stuff like that. Well, then there's Limbo, okay, and outside of that, in the green where the Monitorverse, that's where everything the Monitor lives, and outside of time. Beyond that, then is the Source Wall in yellow that circles and stuff like that. And then of course you have this, but yeah, it is convoluted beyond hell. I thought when I was reading Convergence, it was really good. I'm like, oh, this is good. But then when they started going into all the other things, I'm like, oh my God, it's hurt my brain. It's hurt my brain.
It's why if you're going to make a comic about exploring other dimensions and then possibly another universe, it's you got to be careful with that because then it's going to confuse the hell out of your audience.
Oh yeah, but go ahead. I was just going to point out, go on. It can be done. Well,
yeah, it can.
Okay, I was about to say it can be done, but you got to stick to heavy quantum physics and make sure you fall within the realms of proper science. And so then I got thinking about it. I was like, wait, no, that's dumb because, who has the time to actually sit down and, do like me and read fucking...
I know, yeah. It's who has the time to, actually try to put in realism in a superhero comic involving time travel and traveling to another universe dimension? It doesn't matter. We just want to have fun fighting and villains in another plane of reality, all that other stuff.
See, that's the reason why it's funny you mentioned that. I've been kind of it basically researching time travel and how it actually how you do it and the physics behind it and everything since I was a kid. Don't ask. I was a weird kid, dude. I was a really weird kid. Let's see. I liked politics. I saw Stargate, in theaters the week it came out, and ever since then, one of the things I've been kind of half-ass obsessed with is how to actually make portal technology reality and power armors and things like that, robotics.
Watch Tenet. Do you really want to see time travel?
Isn't everything like in Tenet, like instead of like everything going forward, everything goes in reverse?
Yep, because it deals with entropy and stuff like that. Like, dude, I'm like really smart, and there's stuff like I'm trying to figure out. Is because what happens is like everything for like them had already happened, so they're like everything that you're re-experiencing going backwards, and it's like, oh my god, it's just like literally messing with my mind. I'm thinking of my best friend while he's telling me this, and I watched it. I'm like, okay, well, how are the people that are going backwards breathing? Well, of course, you realize what throughout the movie what's kind of happening and stuff like that. You're like, oh my god, it hurts my head. But that's one of the theories of time travel is that you're not. It's almost like you know what I mean. Time travel is going backwards versus going forwards. You're reliving. The person going forward relives everything in reverse, and stuff like that. We actually have an idea for time traveling where instead of you going in, you're going backwards in your time, your brain actually slides into a different dimension. We call that dimension deja vu in the main timeline because you have like, oh well, I experienced this already. Well, every time the parallel dimension times with us, because they're off sync time, it's you experiencing deja vu in the real moment, but the other world is behind you by a certain amount of time frame.
Yeah.
And we created a drug where you could actually slide between the dimensions and stuff like that.
Well, which is funny because that's half-ass actually, if I remember right, one of the theories of how time travel would actually work. You'd have to. Okay, here's the thing about time travel. You can go back in time and change the past.
Yeah.
Right? Or I should say change the present, all right? But your past stays the same. Because no matter what you do in the past, you are only just creating a new reality. You are not actually doing anything that will affect your timeline.
Yep.
So that's actually that sounds really, really good. So that's how they were able to create, DC was able to make Flashpoint. Because what you said, they literally made that into a storyline.
Yeah, and no matter what.
They did that twice.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's the thing is, it's like, and if you actually listen to some of the people that Joe Rogan gets on, he gets some really smart people on, and they talk about a lot of time travel stuff, and how it works. And it's like really interesting. It's like we would never be able to travel backwards on our own timeline at all, period. No one.
There's nothing we can do to alter our history. The only thing we are doing is altering, or not so much altering our history, but creating a reality where the events that made us who we are in that moment in time, like, completely different. We are just making it, like, let's say I went back in time and fused with myself I'm going to use 7th grade. All right.
Oh, yeah, so you got the memories of your past self and your present and possibly future self all mixed in together. I got that. I've actually had dreams like that. That's quite interesting, Like what if we had our thought? What if our thoughts today were on the past? Would we be different? A completely different person,
Why do you think the old expression exists of if I knew then what I know now?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but like I said, things could be different, changing. Everything would be completely changed,
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one of the great ideas like that I think DC did when they did Flashpoint. While the execution wasn't the greatest, like I thought the idea of them creating like everything they did, just saving Flash's mom changed everything. It's amazing to how like her as so minute who she is had such a huge effect on the universe.
It's like the whole. It's like, what is it? The butterfly theory.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah, the butterfly effect, where it's like, what is it? I think like if you kill a butterfly, something will happen because
it's whatever you do in the past will have a ripple effect in the future.
Yeah.
They use a butterfly as an example where you kill a butterfly, but it's not, like the best way I've come to put it when it comes to the butterfly effect is imagine throwing a pebble in a pond. All right. The ripples going out are
different timelines.
Yeah.
Yes. And the effects of it, the permanent change of things is the pebble that's now at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
Or pond.
Yep. So, like Neo said, if you went back in time, stopped yourself from going back to past you, that would be a new reality.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like again, this is a really good point because, like, if I remember, like with Flashpoint, Flash did exactly that. He stopped himself from affecting the thing, but again, he created basically created a second reality.
Yeah, that became the new. And that became the New 52. That's why Superman was able to be saved and cross over into the original Superman. The original Superman, that's how he was able to cross over, because he was left in the pocket universe from Convergence, him and Lois. And when Flash went back and changed Flashpoint, what they did was that created a whole new timeline, and that opened up Convergence and allowed Lois and Superman or Clark to come over into the New 52 universe.
Yep, and technically, the Superman we have now is technically the Silver Age Superman.
Yep.
And may I say, dude, when they first did that and they did Rebirth, he was so the Silver Age Superman. He was everything you wanted from Superman. Like,
yep.
So mad. We were
robbed.
I was gonna say is like I'm trying to remember because it was a while ago. The New 52 Superman. He was kind of a jerk at first, right?
He really was.
And then like why was he like that? Was it because like the Flashpoint changed him, or is that was that the original Superman?
No,
Flashpoint changed him.
Flashpoint changed him. Okay.
So he did not have. I think Jonathan died. If I remember correctly, Jonathan died earlier.
Yeah.
And he was actually also an amalgamation. When he died, he did not. He technically did not exist because of, once again, the time travel theory of you can't exist. The same person can't exist in the same universe at the same time.
Well, technically, they can exist in the same universe. It's just that they cannot occupy the same space.
Right?
Yeah, because if they do, it's all going to be mumbly jumbly shit like going on.
DC kind of went one step further. They said that the reason why he ended up dying was because the fact of, Clark existed in that universe. So he was the New 52 Superman was slowly losing power, which is why he kept getting weaker and weaker and weaker. That's why when he ultimately died, his power transferred over into Lois or Lana, because, as Emperor Tree says, like, you can't neither destroy or create or destroy matter. So his matter, his existence just transferred into somebody else, which is why she got the power there for a while. And then, of course, they depowered her and stuff like that, They really screwed the pooch on almost all of the New Beginning, Rebirth stuff,
It's like when you start going to like time travel and things like that, and time travel and multiple reality theory, things like that, is you have to have read up on it in order to be able to do it proper. I'm not saying you have to give every bit of information that you've learned to the reader, but you want to have, guidelines, boundaries that people follow.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Something to interest them and get them like hooked, but not something too convoluted and complicated that they're gonna like close the book and never return to it.
Yes, exactly. It's that you trying to create a system. It's And I was actually...
It's almost like you're trying to make the Matrix, but it's like, no, you're just trying to make a basic coding system, bro. Like, you don't need to go that far.
Yes. One of the best things I heard put is actually, like I said, a lot of video essays, but someone was talking about why Batman works. And he explained the reason why Batman works is one, it's not what he can do, it's what he can't do.
Mm-hmm.
His villains, all of them, always complement him in the ways that they hit him in the areas where he is weak, or they complement, they are opposite of him in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
and what makes him so good is it's in the example was actually the guy put in a clip of a fantasy writer that's known for making magic systems, and the guy goes on, it's like, when you build your magic system, the first thing you need to do when you go to start to write about it is go, what can my magic system not do? And tell the story from the angle of your, if you will, you're telling the story of not what it can do, what all the great it can do, but the limitations, because you're trying to show that when you have something that... Take Superman, all right? One of the reasons why Superman has always been a very kind of bleh character for a lot of people is because he's so freaking powerful. And they have to find characters that are just as strong, but they can never find a character that is an opposite to Superman to complement him in that way. It's always a character that is matching him on his strengths, because that's all they can really do. Whereas, like I said, Batman, it's all things that he is weak in. And that right there is how you need to approach any like time travel story. It's not what you can do with time travel, it's what you can't do with time travel to make it interesting.
like that time people thought Batman died from Darkseid, and he didn't really die, just he somehow traveled to the past. That one was really weird, because I'm like, again, I still don't get it, because I'm like, it's like, I see your corpse, you're dead. How are you not dead? Like,
yeah.
Well, I think what they did right was the fact of, we didn't know what Darkseid's powers really were. Everybody thought like there was only one aspect. He disintegrated you. Well, maybe because Batman is so integrated within the time frame, it just automatically, it's one of those things that's like, it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, you know what I mean?
They should have built the foundation and worked around it and gone, this is how he did it. Now, like, explain not why why it happened, but why it shouldn't have. And then they could have explained that it had nothing to do with Darkseid. It was other forces, and they could have created new characters and whatnot that pulled him to the past to... One, this is where Tim Drake really came into his own as a character. All right, this is where he and I love this story, like this arc, because Tim Drake finally, he's going up against Ra's al Ghul, and Ra's al Ghul, before kicking him out a window, says, "Well played, detective," and then kicks him out a window.
Yeah, it was like, I'm trying to remember that story, because I think it was like, it was a very important time for the Batman family, because I think it was like Fight for the Cowl. And I think was that after Batman, quote unquote, died from Darkseid, right?
Yeah.
So I'm personally, for me, I'm like, I really, like you said, I think like it was a great plot, like arc for Dick, and it was great for Tim. Though, like, to me personally, it's like, I didn't really care for Jason personally. It was like, oh, he's just there to like just be another rival to try to be, Batman, and it was what it is. But it's like, obviously, like, to me personally, with the arc, it was like, I don't know, it just made Dick into like kind of more epic than he was, because come on, we all know he was going to go for the cowl, even though he didn't want it. Yeah, but it was like, him being Batman was awesome.
The thing I also liked that they did was they used that as a way to get Dick and Damian to finally be able to work together, because they had to.
Yeah.
And and that's why Damian Wayne was actually killed trying to protect Dick Grayson. And that to me was one of the best things that they could have ever done as a way to get those two to really see eye to eye. Because Damian, I like how they always had it to where Damian just never liked Dick Grayson. He always viewed Dick Grayson as kind of an upstart trying to take what was rightfully his.
Yep. Which is bullshit, and we all know that. The real son, in my opinion, although a lot of people, I still think the real son of Batman or Bruce is Dick.
Yes,
and just because the thing is, it always goes to show, family does not have to be blood relation.
Well, it's because they the best way to put it, Bruce saw a lot of, if you will, himself and Dick Grayson. Because they both experienced the same thing. And Robert, this is the storyline that you were looking for.
Oh yeah, hold on. Nice.
And
I always saw, like, to me at least, is like I always saw, like, with Dick and Damian, I always saw, like, kind of the big brother, little brother kind of relationship they were supposed to have. I mean, heck, that's what I always saw in the whole family. Is like Dick is what is it? He's the elder brother. Jason's like the second eldest. Tim's third. Barbara could be like older sister type.
Yeah.
And then, like, again, that's just how I feel with this, and it works,
But the scene I was actually talking about, kind of hard because Cameron's not the greatest. But even if you kill me now, I've made sure he won't be able to transfer anything to you. You've lost, Roz. Well done, detective. Yeah. And then literally kicks him out a window.
And that's the thing about Tim Drake, though. With Tim Drake, like he finds that I think for me, like, he is the detective side of Batman. He is the
Two-Face. Like, I was gonna say, I agree. Like, number one, he is probably the best detective out of the Robins, and secondly, technically speaking, he is the best Robin. The best Robin. We're not talking about like Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin. Just like if all the Robins came in, Tim is the best interpretation of Robin. He is, before he evolves into new Robin.
Well, there's always the speculation, like if you actually read like a lot of like before they did like the Rebirth and stuff like that, like they've actually said where Dick becomes the best Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Dick has the acrobatics and the martial arts.
Yeah.
And the heart.
Yes. Tim has the and I'm actually looking for it in this book because they actually have a point where they say Dick, they call him Tim Drake, world's greatest detective, formerly second world's greatest detective. He is literally the detective. He was able to, off of a trick. Okay, so he was there the night Dick Grayson's parents were killed. He was there in the circus. He was watching it. Yeah. All right, and he saw Robin do a flip that he had seen Dick Grayson do. And what are the odds that a young man, he was a teenager or whatever, could do something that only a trained acrobat could do? And what are the odds that the new Robin is that well trained of an acrobat? So once he realized that Dick Grayson was Robin, he very quickly put it together that Bruce Wayne was Batman.
Also look at the fact too of why Tim's a detective. His dad was a cop, so it was built into him.
It's like it's like out of all the like Robins, or at least out of all like with the Bat family, I love Tim's way of getting into the Bat family. It wasn't like a tragedy. It wasn't like freaking like trying to steal Batman's hubcaps for money. No, he just figured it out and then asked them. He basically, in a nutshell, he just asked asked him, and you know, Bruce obliged, and he was able to become the third Robin. You know.
Well, it's because he understood that the death of Jason Todd, because he had also figured out who Jason was causing Batman to become extremely violent and angry, and he was acting in a way that Batman would normally not act in. Like, and I'm trying to find the exact panel for you, so I can show you. Yes, in fact, they do. Tim Drake does get.
Oh, hold on a second.
They actually have that discussion between all the Robins and stuff like that. So,
well, that's
we're gonna need to wrap up soon here. Then.
Oh,
Okay.
not a problem. It's one of those proper meeting of the minds. We get talking about Batman.
Batman this, Batman that. Why can't we talk more Superman? We gotta talk.
Hey, why don't you think I switched my Twitter handle to unofficial Batman fanboy? I think that's what I switched it to.
Man, speaking of Superman, it's still like, what is it? It's still weird to me that Connor didn't start off with like typical Kryptonian powers. He had tactile telekinesis, which I was like, what the hell kind of power is that?
Yeah,
technically,
exactly.
Connor Kent was not full Kryptonian.
Yeah, he wasn't full Kryptonian. He was like half human or something like that. Or at least
he is a combined clone of Lex Luthor and Superman.
Superman.
Yeah. He's Superman's DNA, but the mitochondrial DNA is Lex's.
Yeah, it's like I think, and yeah, originally, like I said, like the way that his powers worked, it was like kind of a psychic field around, like inside and outside his body that, like, basically, it's like. Again, it's really, really weird. It's like psychic Kryptonian power, basically.
Well, they use that if you read All Star Superman, they touch base on that Kryptonians actually have that ability.
Speaking of Connor Kent, Superman,
that's the real Connor Kent. That is the real Connor Kent. I don't care. That is the best version.
Well, yeah, it's like not that one where I guess edgy boy with the facial hair. We're going the guy with the black shirt, clean shaved teenage boy.
or you could even bring up when his 90s costume, when he had a more traditional proper costume, and I'm like, come on, give him back his leather jacket, man.
Yeah.
Come on. I liked his leather jacket.
I like that version of him too because it's easy to cosplay.
Right. Granted, as long as you have the build. I mean, I'm not quite there yet.
I cosplayed as it.
I'm a stickler. I'm a stickler. I will not cosplay anything that I cannot actually look right doing, so I guess don't bother.
Let me see if I can show it here. Give me a second here.
And I'm still looking for that.
Let's see. Tactile telekinesis is psychic body armor that hits your strength and durability. Oh yeah, it's not that it's a crappy power. It's just like when I first heard about it, I'm like, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a cool power. Mm-hmm. It's just more sounds like a complicated superhuman strength and durability power, but like for psychics.
Well, there's a lot of things that I feel like what they did with Connor Kent, I think they were trying to reintroduce Superboy, but in a way that made sense without somehow either creating a, if you will, time double of sorts for Superman and whatnot, or you get my point. Like, there's several ways they could, that was the smartest way they could think of to handle it without having literally two Clark Kents in the universe. Granted, Mom and Pa Kent would not have complained to have had Clark as a child again back home, but they were just as happy to have Connor, because remember, right, they took him in.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, let me bring this up here. Oh man, I don't have, where is that other picture at? I gotta try to find the one. So I gotta show you guys this one picture though here. So Jim Lee did a version of a new version of Superboy. So share the screen real quick, Bob.
I'm waiting on you to do it.
I'm waiting. Give me a second here.
Oh, it's like armor hockey from One Piece. Yeah, true. Because like the state. Oh, what is that?
That's Jim Lee's revisioning of Superboy.
More like Clayman if he was Superboy, but mine's better. Hold on, let me get my thing out. I'll show you a real hooded costume, baby.
Dude, I'm sorry, but that looks like he's trying to be.
Wait, what's that? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember that one. Brightburn. He's trying to be Brightburn, man.
I was gonna say Jace.
That was done. Yeah, but that was done years before Brightburn even existed. That was back. He did that costume back at the New 52. Like that was his rendition of it. Where is this photo at here? So there, Eric and I did a convention together. I'm trying to find where it ended up.
Sorry about that.
That's how you do a hooded costume, baby.
That's actually not a bad variant. There's actually a hooded variant for Raziel, my character. Let me see if I.
This coloring. Yeah, this was drawn by Ivan. My friend Itchy colored this. The green really complements the green background. Really complements the red and white.
Well, I mean, it's not just that it complements the red and white. For me, I like how you have the colors all like they're still red and black, but the color is.
Yeah, it's like a shading type thing.
Yeah, the hooded variant is more solid red and looks like you could have it be a bit more of a sneak suit type deal.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my whole thought. I'm trying to find one of. I'm trying to do this for my second screen. Oh, I don't have any of the hooded variants in there, actually. All right, let me check my Like, I could have swore. All I gotta say is, see, that needs to go into that guy. I need to get my funny folder fixed. I got art tuts in there. I have fucking actual educational stuff. It's not just funnies, and I'm like, all right, I need to clean up my funny folder.
Yeah. What was it? I gotta go because I gotta edit a script for my other comic series.
All right, so, not a problem.
Yes, I got 2 other comics I'm doing, but I don't got the money yet to do their one shot. So
we're about to wrap it up anyhow. So
I was just trying to find, like I said, the scene from the comic where they do refer to Tim Drake after Batman's death as currently the greatest detective on Earth.
Oh yeah, I guess I could see it real quick. Yeah.
But either way, oh well, I can't.
Okay.
I was trying to find for a second there. I was like, I found it. No, I didn't. All right, so Playlix, where can people find you?
I'm on YouTube. I'm on a lot of sites. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Minds, Twitter. I got a Patreon. I got a GoFundMe running. That kind of stuff. Usually it's the same name, Claylix, so you can find me on there. I think that's it. Yeah.
Alrighty. Chuck, where can people find you?
As always, you guys can find me on every social media piece at Sporkman Studios. And soon to be Rumble.
Yeah, same here. I just have to get around to doing it and actually commit to it. And as always, you folks can find me on the Twitters at Brainiac420. You can find me everywhere else at Bob Jones Comic Wars. And with that, I guess we will bid you folks a good night. Later, folks.
Later.